Davenport.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Quad City sports fans of all ages, Town Square Media is proud to present to you the best Quad City sports talk radio show in the world. With the face who runs the place, T-Roy, the OG on the marquee, J-Bird, and the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City sports talk radio show. We're not the Quad City sports talk radio show. We are your Quad City sports talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn.
And the posse's on Broadway. We are back here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish. And you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, a local on AM 1170, the K Barbarino. Stat Cat here, J-Bird, T-Roy's back. Having a good little hump day, boys. How we doing? Smile.
Sad day.
Sad day.
Sad day, T-Roy.
What's wrong?
It's the final episode of MTV The Challenge today.
Wah, wah, wah.
They're running the
I thought Serge was looking a little melancholy.
They're running the final.
That's it.
They're running the final tonight.
Jesus.
They're running the final. It's not even a two-parter.
I don't think Jesus has anything to do with it. If Jesus did, I don't think we'd have this show.
Do you think it's a two-parter because it's just that good? Or because they can't stretch out two parts because it's that bad?
I would say the second.
And I haven't even looked at the guide, but fingers crossed that it goes straight into hour two, the reunion episode.
I don't have an opinion on the program. We're just gonna focus.
We're gonna move on to MTV. Can you imagine
the next regularly scheduled program?
What if Belichick was the MTV program director and asked him about the finale? And we're moving on to X on the Beach.
Yeah.
We're moving on to Real World.
Or what if, or the
Real World Miami.
If he was the guy in charge of when they flashed the booby at the Super Bowl. Yeah, we're just gonna move on to the next act.
Yeah,
It's just a boob. There's all for you.
Speaking of coaches, Riverboat
Ron.
He got the axe. We're gonna talk a little bit more about
during
that
the
later.
show yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, all
like
kinds
it was
of
like
things
right
happened.
after. Yeah.
I literally have not delved into sports in over 24 hours.
Yeah, you had to go out of town.
Yeah,
You want to make a comment about that?
Well, yeah, I do actually. Yeah. You guys remember about a year and a half ago, before we started the show here live on the radio, mm-hmm. I got to go to a wedding, and Amy's cousin was getting married. Her uncle was good friends with Mike North, mm-hmm. radio guy from Chicago, famous.
Yep.
Well, the same uncle, unfortunately, that a-hole we call cancer, ended up taking him. And so we went up to the funeral yesterday, and obviously Mike North was there. They're childhood buddies, so pretty cool story about that. Grew up in the north side of Chicago, there in proper Chicago proper. Jay, how Chicago are you?
Yeah.
But these guys, there's like 7 or 8 of them or whatever it is. I'm not sure the total count exactly, but they call themselves the Saints, and they've been friends since they're like 11, 12 years old. And all those guys were there at the funeral, and I'll tell you what, it was touching. The good words that were said about Bob, and it was cool. I was thinking, man, if I go, if only half as good of things are said about me, I'll be pretty cool. But there was some neat things, like he obviously his son was with him, when he passed, and his son had asked him, on his deathbed, Dad, what are some advice to give me and my wife, as they'd just been married for a year and a half, and I thought it was pretty interesting. I'm not a spiritual guy, Jay, you know that, but he said 3 things. He goes, love yourselves, love each other, love God, and love everyone else as Jesus would. And I'm like, okay. And this dude, like, he lived his life like that. Everybody that knew this dude loved this dude, and he just passed on that kind of positive vibe. So, pretty cool thing. So his one of his mottos was LLTTF.
Live life to the fullest.
Yep. So, we're going to take that with us, Jay.
I like that.
Take that positive thing with us.
Yeah, so, yes. That's a nice message to share.
I figure, share the love. I figure love, karma, same thing,
we
so I just want to say, I love everyone. I love you guys.
We can look at Riverboat. And it's funny because yesterday what we were doing was speculating who the next Cowboy coach could be, but now we can speculate who the next Carolina Panther coach could be.
can't believe they got to fire theirs before ours. How did he?
Because he doesn't mess around. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
The owner, here's what the owner said. He basically came out and said he has word that other teams are already starting their coach search, so he was just going to be on the forefront. Didn't want to, since it was a decision, he respects Ron Rivera. He's just going to go ahead and do it and move on and get it going instead of have him go out the next few weeks coaching as a lame duck coach. So, whereas Jerry, the quote yesterday, I don't know, what was it? It was something real passive aggressive, but they said he said that Jason Garrett will be an NFL coach next year. He's positive. He didn't say where, but that's what Jerry said. And I think I'm trying to figure out exactly what Jerry's looking for.
All right, so what, Serge, chances they fire Garrett, in your honest opinion?
Good.
Jay?
Wait, isn't this the last year of his contract?
It is. That doesn't mean that he's getting fired. What do you think, Jay? What are the chances?
He will not be the coach of the Cowboys in 2020. 100%.
I, as a Cowboy fan, am not so sure. I'm terrified. I'm terrified he's going to be the coach next year.
Well, yeah, you should be, but he won't be. That quote right there, that Jason Garrett will be. He made another quote last week. It was about how he's fine with writing checks, but something about if without results, his hand gets a little sore. He's laying all the little I don't know, little 19, you little.
I was listening
adages.
on Monday when we left to Will Kane, and he's got it down to guys he thinks should, could, or would take this job.
Okay, first things
Premier
first.
people.
Okay, all right.
And he nailed it down. He bolded. The ones he said everybody he brought up wasn't obviously going to do it. He brought up Belichick. He brought up
Saban.
Sean Payton.
Saban.
He brought up
Lincoln Riley,
and he brought up
Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer and Harbaugh.
There you go. Yep.
And he said you have to find the people that it's going to fit with. Obviously, Belichick doesn't fit because he's not going to bow to the Jerry way. Okay? He's not going to give full control. All right, so he's out. Sean Payton, probably not going to happen. Would fit with Jerry, but he's not going to leave where he's at. Okay. Saban, not going to fit.
That's not true.
You don't think so with Sean Payton?
That's not true. I think Saban would fit with Jerry. Because Saban isn't, even though Saban is a whiner or whatever else, he doesn't really want to be the face of everything. He wants to do his job. And the problem with it, he had too many jobs to do when he was with the Dolphins. He could go and be the Barry Switzer and just coach and let Jerry be the one that makes all the quotes.
Can he be better than Switzer? Can he be the Jimmy Johnson then?
That's what Jimmy Johnson didn't work, because Jimmy Johnson wouldn't let Jones take the credit. Saban at this point can just be like, I don't care. Someone take the credit.
Well, when I say Jimmy Johnson, I want to be successful like Jimmy Johnson.
Barry Switzer won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, Jimmy should have won 3.
He was the last one to win a Super Bowl for the Cowboys, so I think that's successful.
All right.
Saban is a fit.
What do you think about Meyer?
Same. I don't think Meyer has anything to prove. He just wants to coach and show that he can do it at the highest level.
Harbaugh?
No. Harbaugh is more about him. I go back to that story about Peyton Manning over and over again every time I think of Harbaugh and how it is still about him. So that's.
I don't think he's leaving Michigan. Do you?
No,
I don't either.
I wouldn't either if I was him. Not yet. The Carolina one is interesting. There is another one for you, but I don't know if he'll take it. Hold on, and I feel dumb. I don't know his name right now. It's out of my head.
Do you think Saban's a good coach, you guys, or is he just a great recruiter?
Both.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's easy to coach when you have all the talent.
Yeah. That helps.
I mean, just throwing that out there.
That's the one. Why don't you just go right down the road and get Matt Rule from Baylor? Look what he's done. He was successful at Temple. He came into Baylor and cleaned up a program that was terrible.
Yeah.
He's not well known, so he's not someone who's going to want me. And you could just let him coach. What is he going to do at Baylor? Honestly.
Well, I don't know. I'm with you. I want something. I want something to be excited about, you guys. I mean, I listen. We're playing the Bears this week. This was supposed to be the week me and Sergio get together, have a good time. I could care less, Serge.
That's what we said. Ed.
Still
That's what we
good.
said. Yeah. You said
Well, yeah.
That's true. No one said you couldn't have a good time.
Yeah.
You
Well,
just don't
watching
have
the
to look
game,
at the TV.
I meant.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we're going to have to make the good time because we're going to be watching garbage on the field. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in this game.
Speak for yourself. Enjoy your really good but slightly off 6-6 season. We'll enjoy our god awful, horrible, we are the worst team in the world 6-6 season.
They're both 6-6.
God, you guys are so much better than us, though. 6-6.
Are we? Are we?
You should be.
Well,
You're
should
not.
we be? I don't know.
We're horrible
yes.
too. It's okay.
I know it sucks. I looked forward to this being like literally like a 9-2 matchup.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, like 9-2,
give or take. Yeah.
like something around those times. Like
Preferably
9
give.
well, 9-3. There's 12 games, so 9-3, 8-4 at
Yeah.
worst.
Yeah.
Like this is like these two are. This is a battle. This could be deciding who's going to get the playoff berth or who takes the division. You know, I look at the Eagles; they stink too. So thank God. But I think someone said to me today, they're like, "Well, are the Bears in the playoff hunt?" I go,
Somehow.
yeah, but realistically, no. I go,
Why?
And the only reason Dallas is because our division stinks.
Well, ours is tanking other than Green Bay. I mean, they're
Right. I just, you have another game with
Green
Minnesota.
Bay's not elite. Minnesota's faltering.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Like,
Let's go out and get drunk Thursday anyway.
This is just a roller
We'll
coaster
take
of
Sissy with
us. This is such she can drive us. This is our roller coaster of emotion on this is
The female
man,
truth.
we're gonna be we're gonna be really, really good. She got any Irish in her? There's like the beginning of the season was really, really good. Like, okay, we're so optimistic, and then all of a sudden we start dropping games. Then it gets frustrating. Then it's who's to blame. Then it's a fine. I'm done for this year. Screw it. And now we're still in the darn playoff hunt. And
Yeah.
now 2 weeks ago when I saw in the hunt, I'm like, God, I do not want to see them make the playoffs. Now I really don't care. Sure, bring it on. What's the worst that could happen? We lose. We don't lose any draft picks.
What kills me, we start out 3-0, then we lose to
It's
the
like
Jets.
it's like Chinba. Just let us all in. We'll see what happens.
Chinba. Yep.
Go throw it out there.
I love
Or we're not supposed to talk about Chinba anymore. Tears back.
You can talk about
We
it.
covered
I
it
just don't like
yesterday.
Chinba.
Yeah. Well, since you mentioned it, Ron Rivera to the Bears?
It doesn't do a whole lot for me.
It doesn't, does it? And he wasn't a bad coach.
Unless he's time traveling and going back to being number 59.
8+ season, 3 NFC South titles, 1 Super Bowl appearance, 1 NFC championship, obviously. Not
I
a
don't
bad.
think he's a bad coach. Is he better than what you got?
He's a player's coach. He's a manager.
Is he better than what you got?
manages his staff well.
That's the thing. I mean,
He's a
if he
player's coach.
leaves,
The players
who's gonna
respect him.
You need an O coordinator.
And Trubisky's going to go, well,
There
no.
you go. You have an old coordinator. You get it, but now you have defensive
you need
minded.
to-
You go back to the defense.
Nagy leaves. Trubisky's going to go, well, who's going to hug me now?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
But
that's
then-
just it.
Who's a player's coach?
Well, I mean, and
Coach
we've
Ron,
talked about
Coach Ron,
this too. I mean,
will you whisper something in my ear?
if Cam becomes a
Go for it.
quarterback,
Riverboat says go for it.
isn't that a fit?
Yeah, it is. There you have your offensive coordinator, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
Just
Ron's
get
a
away-
defensive minded guy.
I know, just let Cam be the offensive coordinator.
No.
I know. I'm just saying that right away. That's the first thing. Like, oh, great, we can just start this reckless speculation right now.
Well, it's a lot of fun. I love to recklessly speculate.
Yeah, well, we're going to do that also with Carolina Panthers and look at some other coaching opportunities. We have to look at the Iowa game from last night. That was a big win. Iowa's looking good, and
Took down Q's.
we got to look at the Big Ten awards.
How did the Big Ten do last night overall?
Michigan State lost to Duke. Michigan lost to Louisville. Iowa beat Syracuse. You get to see Ohio State tonight. That'll be a pretty good game. You get to see DJ Carton. Let's see. We have that. We have to. Speaking of NFL football, we have to call. We're going to call our friend Jeff, who was on the roof, and
He's not on the roof anymore.
not on the roof anymore because the Red Rocket got him off there. So we're going to call him after we go to break here in just a minute. We're going to talk to him. We're going to look at the Iowa game. Bobby Metcalf's going to join us in the second half of the second hour of the show. Yeah, there's just a lot to go over, and then we also have our Netflix documentary, which if anyone has anything about plant-based diets, Feel free to call in when we talk about it, 391-3776. Feel free to call in anytime you'd like.
Sissy's mad at me.
563-391-3776. But we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to call Jeff from
Can we
Milan
talk about Sissy more when we get back?
Well, we're going to call Jeff, and even though he lives in Milan, Indiana, he's a Cincinnati Bengal fan. He's been on the roof. He's been on the show before, but now he's not calling from his roof anymore. We're just going to talk to him about his time up there. So let's take our first break.
All right, everybody loves holiday deals, and does Pints have one for you? From now until the end of the year, Pints will have $3 Kettle One vodkas. That's right. Help Pints ring out 2019 and welcome 2020 with a special on one of the world's premier spirits. So ho your way into Pints after some shopping today and grab a $3 Kettle One. That's Pints, 5268 Utica Ridge Road in Davenport.
Hey, this is Goose, PA announcer for the Quad City Storm, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Were you just thinking that you need to order some hoodies? QC Custom Tees and More will literally have you covered with their best deal of the year. For a limited time, every custom hoodie you order comes with a free t-shirt. Yep, order 25 hoodies, get 25 matching t-shirts for free. Order 50 hoodies, get 50 t-shirts for free. Need 75 hoodies? Get 75 t-shirts for free. You get the idea. And don't worry, the price gets better the more you order. Need them quick? QC Custom Tees will get your order knocked out in a week or less. And if you act fast, you can also get matching koozies. Only available for the first 10 who order. What are you waiting for? Give QC Custom Tees a call. 844-QCC-TEES. That's 844-722-8337. Or message them on Facebook today. For screen printing, embroidery, banners, promo products, or anything custom printed, go to QC Custom Tees and More. They'll do whatever it takes to make you happy. Find them on Facebook or at QCCustomTees.com.
From local to global, ESPN 1170 has you covered. Your Quad City Sports Show is here for you. Don't hassle us, we're local with your favorite foursome, T-Roy, J-Bird, Surge, and you. Weekdays noon to 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader. ESPN 1170 AM wants you to be an insider. Get access to great contests at ESPN1170am.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged. For the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Sensitivity, understanding, and a tradition of kindness and caring. It's so important when a family loses a loved one. Call on us, Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, for all your service needs. You have our single-minded attention to every detail. With a range of choices and services available, our professionalism, and our deepest sympathy. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, Rock Island, Milan, Reynolds, and the Knox Chapel.
ESPN 1170 AM is the Quad City Sports Leader and your home of the local sports show. Don't hassle us, we're local. Listen for a chance to win everything from tickets to free food every time you win and pick up your prize at the ESPN 1170 AM Pepsi ticket window. We'll give you a free Pepsi for the road as well. It's like winning twice. Get more chances to win by downloading the ESPN 1170 AM app or by going to ESPN1170am.com.
At Casey's, we're not just here for made-from-scratch dough, fresh pepperoni, hand-cut veggies, and melty 100% mozzarella cheese. We're here for game night. Here for online ordering. And here for victory celebrations. Now at Casey's, get 2 large single-topping pizzas for just $9.99 each. Casey's, here for handmade pizza, here for good. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
Sports and beer. Enjoy both at lunch. Don't hassle us. We're local, noon to 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, Quad Cities, we're back here in the Hassle Castle. Brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish. This is Don't Hassle Us Local on AM 1170.
All right.
Uh-oh, guys. I'm in big trouble now. She thinks we're not friends anymore.
You're getting on the T-Roy text
T-Roy
thread line?
text thread. Sissy's very mad.
People don't like it when you make him QC famous?
I guess not.
You could be nice to me in front of Mookie.
Speaking of Mookie.
Yeah. All right.
She's in trouble, too. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either. Why do you have a list of people who are in trouble?
I
You've
don't
gone
know.
one day just thinking about these things. All right.
I'm frozen again.
We're gonna get. I'll get it. I'll fix it as soon as we make the
I
phone call.
just fixed the GD thing.
I'll fix it as soon as.
Actually, I am moving. I'm not just like flexing my coffee cup right now.
We're gonna give Jeff a call. Like we said, Jeff is the Cincinnati Bengal fan that went up there, and we're gonna talk to him.
By the way, I'm just gonna take this time to tell anybody: if you ever don't buy a GoPro, it's this crap garbage. It's
well, if you want to like videotape like you skateboarding or
for 30 seconds till it stops running. Yeah, good luck with that.
You skateboard for longer than 30 seconds.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Probably.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could.
All right.
It's got to be a big white board.
Let's give Jeff a call.
GoPro. Go home. That's what they should call it. Stupid technology.
Pro.
Yeah. Go amateur.
Slow pro.
Yeah. These things suck. So mad.
Freeze pro.
Well, they're not an advertiser. I don't have to be nice to them. Hey, Jeff. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. How are you?
Here you're off the roof. We're happy to hear that. Calling from the Quad Cities again. This is Troy, Jane, Surge from Don't Hassle So Local.
You sound warm.
Yeah, you do. You sound a lot better than last time.
Oh, yeah.
So the Red Rocket comes out of retirement to basically save you from a frostbite. Talk to us about how exciting it was for you to watch that victory.
Oh, it was awesome, man. I knew it. As soon as they saw it, I could see it in his face.
Yeah. Well, I think
he was out to prove himself.
You know, there was somebody that suggested that they sat him when they did to make sure that he was rested up so they can win this one game for you. Is that you think that's true?
I don't. It doesn't matter to me as long as it worked.
Totally worked. All right, so you guys still in the hunt for the first pick, no matter what. What as a Bengal fan, what are you looking forward to? Who do you want? Do you think it's time to replace Andy? You're going to go after Tua or somebody else, or what are your thoughts?
My personal opinion, I don't think the quarterback's the issue. I think they need to go after some linebackers and some O-line. I would start with the O-line first, and then build off of that. I think if they built the O-line, got a solid set of some linebackers, we're hurting in that area, and I think somebody to help Sam Hubbard out on that front line and Boeing, or on the defensive line.
Can I ask you when you first went up on the roof, and you start, let's say after about 3 games, when did you start thinking like this could be here for a while? Did you look at this Jets game and say that's probably my best shot, or did you think a couple maybe before that?
Well, when I first went up there, I mean, I didn't think that I was going to go up there, and then when it kind of sunk in, I knew, I told my wife from the very beginning, I said, anybody can win any Sunday. I said, but my best chances was the Jets and Miami.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't want to admit it, but I did say my best chance of coming off was against either New York Jets or the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Then the Jets started winning, and then Miami started winning, and then I'm like, oh man, this could be very bad.
Yeah. They I saw some photos on, and you guys can go to Facebook, and it's Jeff on the Roof. I saw some photos. You guys did Thanksgiving up on the roof.
Yeah, we had to.
That's pretty neat that your family went up there and did that with you, though.
Yeah, that's cool. We had fun.
You did come down once. Last time we talked to you, you had a fundraiser that you were coming down for. Tell everybody again what that was for.
November 9th, I came down. It was it's called Backroading for Baby Brooke. Baby Brooke was born with spina bifida, and I'm real good friends with the mom and the dad, and actually the whole family. And then, I kind of, since I was up there, I didn't have much to do, so I kind of helped get the word out, about, the benefit that we were doing and the ride. And, I used, basically our crowd was a lot busier on Sunday than what it typically is. So, we would do split the pots, and we'd sell like $5 raffle tickets. So basically, if you bought a $5 raffle ticket on Saturday night, you got to eat a steak and lobster dinner with me on the roof. And all that money from us selling the tickets and doing split the pots, I donated all of it to Baby Brooke. A lot of the stuff that, people brought up, Campbell's soup, they brought me a skid of Campbell's soup. I donated that to the benefit so that they could auction it off like as a silent auction to get money for her. And I just gave my tent to the Boy Scouts here in the area that I'm from. I'm a member of the Milan Legion here in Milan, and the Boy Scouts, they come out and help park cars and stuff when we have functions. So I donated that tent and the camping supplies that was donated to me. I donated to the boys there.
That's awesome. It's great that, the fun story, and for those who don't remember, so you made a comment, I believe someone did something similar in 1991, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, Wildman Walker, he worked for WABN, and they had basically a radio station in Colorado and the one in Cincinnati used a couple of their guys, sports announcers, and made them a bet. So the Cincinnati team lost, Cincinnati's guy went up. If Denver lost, the Denver guy went up, and that was just, it was, Wildman was just, so basically they went 0-8 that year.
Yeah. And then, but the thing is, you made a comment that if they don't win, you're going up until they win again, and it was your wife that actually kind of sent it to a news station, and you were kind of, forced to do it, right?
Yeah, well, basically, I made that comment during the Pittsburgh game, and then a couple of my friends put it on Facebook. Social media got a hold of it, saying, rumor has it that it was going to happen. Yeah, and then when we went down the tailgate, it was mentioned down there, on a live tailgate with one of the news stations, and then after that, I couldn't go back on what, I said it, so.
Yeah, I just think it's neat that you parlayed all this and you got to raise awareness for that fundraiser, and then that you get to donate this stuff back to the Boy Scouts. I think it's great, all the things that you're doing there. And what's it been like since you've been down? Just interviews like this?
Yeah, there's been people calling, one of the ESPN writers for, I guess, the Cincinnati Bengals. He has an office there at the stadium. He came down yesterday and asked a bunch of questions and took some pictures, and he was going to do something with it there. And I just basically been talking to some radio stations that I talked to while I was up there, just calling and, what you're doing, kind of.
Didn't Le Batard call you as well?
Dan Le Batard show called, I think they called actually the week before the Brook benefit, or might have been after, but they did call one time.
Sweet.
So you on Le Batard?
We're a lot cooler than Le Batard then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they tried to roast me on it. They did try to roast me on it, but I had to put them in their place about it a little bit. They were trying to make it sound like I was doing it for personal gain and all that.
No.
Oh, really?
That's too bad. So you're a big Bengals fan. Is there any other sports teams that you follow like this?
The Bucks.
The Bucks?
Yeah, Ohio State.
I was hoping you were going to say Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, Ohio State. All right. Well, good. They're having a good year. Yeah, that's the ins and outs, the usual.
Yeah, they should beat Wisconsin. I'll root for you.
Yeah. Well, we're Hawkeyes. We're Hawkeyes out here.
We're Hawkeyes, so
well, I won't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey, you guys upset us a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That's all we ever do. We don't just upset people. We don't win anything.
I don't know. It's upset if you call 55-13 an upset, but who's counting who remembers the score? No, I want to thank you for your time and answering my text. I know you're super busy and doing all this stuff, and it's a fantastic story, and you're such a great guy, and also that you take the time out just to talk to us all the way out here in Iowa. So we want to thank you for your time, and we were going to continue to follow you and keep in touch.
Oh, awesome. No problem. Call anytime.
All right, but you'll be our man on the street next year for sure. We want to see what's going to happen with this team with all these new draft picks, all right?
All right, that'll work.
All right, buddy.
All right, take care, man. Take care, Jeff.
All right, see ya.
Bye. All right, that's Jeff on the Roof. You can find him on Facebook. He's a great guy. The idea that he, like he said, he had time, he's a friend of the family, and back rooting for Baby Brooke. So that's cool that he got to do all that and then donate the stuff and, use his time wisely up there and good for the community. And it sounds like he's been doing stuff like this even before he got up on the roof. And Le Batard wants to get in there and say for personal gain, so what? I mean,
really?
That doesn't. I don't really know.
Hey, Dan, go
Can't do anything nice anymore.
Yeah, go eat a French fry, Dan.
Can't do anything fun. Can't do anything nice.
No.
LLTTF, Dan.
That's right.
Don't you just have fun?
All right. Well, last night, Iowa beat Syracuse. Their first win in the ACC Big Ten Challenge since 2015. Iowa won 68-54. Luka Garza led all scorers with 23 points. It's the fourth time he's topped the 20-point mark this season. He's also the Big Ten leading scorer right now. Jordan Bohannon hit a season-high 5 3-pointers. This was the fewest point total scored by an Iowa opponent this season, 54. Pemsl and Frederick did not play. Frederick's got a quad injury. Pemsl's back is bothering him. In the battle that everybody was paying attention to, a son versus son, Connor McCafferty versus Buddy Boeheim. Buddy Boeheim wins the total points 7-5.
Ooh.
Yeah, but Connor shot a little better from the field.
Named
2 for
his son
6.
Buddy?
He sure did.
Hey, buddy. Have a bloody
My
buddy.
friends texted me this morning, and they said Syracuse looks really bad. And I said, well, he may be a Hall of Fame coach, but I never really thought of Coach Boeheim to look like an athlete whatsoever. And then I just made a comment that his son Buddy is an apple that didn't fall too far from the tree.
Buddy.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
So big. That's a good win for Iowa. It looked good. Any win on the road at NCAA is good. I enjoyed watching that Duke-Michigan State game just because it's good basketball. Michigan came out flat against Louisville. So that was a short-lived movement, Fab Five type of thing. They'll be better later on. But,
Yeah.
I mean, Louisville they were just flat. But
I don't think either team shot very well.
no, but it was a good game. I mean, a good night for basketball, and it actually that type of challenge was. I walked away last night just sitting there like I do like college basketball. I mean, I know I've been to like 3 Iowa games there and everything, and in person, but
Better than Chenba, Jay.
well, speaking of, here's some scores. Pistons beat the Cavaliers 127-94 last night. The Clippers beat the Trailblazers 117-97. The Spurs beat the Rockets in overtime, which I still can't figure out what happened. The Spurs beat the Rockets 135-133 in 2 overtimes. Something about Harden's dunk went through the hoop, but the referees called it off.
I did see that.
And
it went through the roof.
And later on, the referee's like, yeah, it should have been a good basket, but we didn't call it.
So he dunked it, right? And the net came around, and the ball went back.
The Rockets were up at like 10 at one point on this team, the Spurs team, who was 8-14. So I don't really care too much about that. Orlando Magic beat the Wizards 127-120. The Lakers beat the Nuggets 105-96. Mavericks. Luka puts in 33. Mavericks beat the Pelicans 118-97. And the Miami Heat beat the Raptors 121-110. So there's your Chinba update, T-Roy.
Yay, Chenba, brought to you by anybody that's a sellout.
Jeez.
Just bouncing back and forth, as I like to do. We got to do our local housekeeping. T-Roy.
Yeah.
Well, first things first. So there was a meeting at the city of Davenport. They're going to.
What
suspend.
happened?
They're going to try to suspend the liquor license for shenanigans.
Yep.
That was on Monday after we had talked?
Or was it?
Or did it happen Tuesday?
Tuesday.
I thought there was another meeting today, possibly.
There's been like a meeting every day.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you got gunfire going on, man, bad news. I saw it on the TV, man. It was. I mean, anybody tall enough would have got hit right in the head.
No, it was a little too high. Thankfully.
Do we have anything more out of it? Because on Monday we just
There's
have the
nothing
police
else.
report. Just nothing else to come in.
No.
The forensic
I
files
saw the
have an
report
episode, isn't it?
on KWQC, I believe, was the one I saw that they did, trying to get some people to comment from both sides. Nobody from Shenanigans has made a comment, as far as I know.
Of course not.
Well, it's staying away from
Guys,
it.
I'm telling you, I don't mean to be this guy, but I don't think that liquor license is going to be suspended.
I don't think so either because of the burden of proof that it is on. This is what really, really sucks. It's really, really, really hard to hold Shenanigans responsible, even though we all know it's their fault. Okay, let me just be clear. We all know it's that business's fault. But to prove that it was one of their customers, that it was a direct result of any of their stuff, yeah, there was a fight that happened inside and outside there, but how are they going to prove that the shot came from one of their customers? without footage of it or eyewitnesses, they can't prove that it was one of their customers shooting across the street. It sucks.
But Mayor,
So
but
that's
Mayor
what-
Cliff-
what-
keep a liquor license.
but the mayor
But
said
what they can do, Serge, is they can say, listen, we've had over 90 calls to
Thank
this
you.
place in a year.
90.
90 calls to your place in a year. You are now known as a public nuisance.
the
This is
mayor
what they can do.
Yeah, the mayor said though that there's been businesses that have contacted him, and he wants those businesses to be happy. He cares about his downtown Davenport, so now it's all.
Unless there's water in it.
So again, like you're saying,
care about my downtown too.
Here's the other thing:
Yeah.
you can just kind of pump the brakes on how many liquor licenses you give out if you hand them out like
You get a liquor license. You get a liquor license. We all get liquor licenses.
You want to open up next to a daycare? Sure, you can have one too. Why not? You can make up a lie about what bar you're on as well.
Think of all the money the landlord of that building could do if they put in a strip mall right there. Just normal businesses.
There's just something you could do instead
a
of suspending
bookstore,
one.
a coffee shop.
Just
You know
out,
what?
just
If
out.
I owned that spot, you know what I would do?
What? It's
I would-
Wednesday.
Midget strippers.
No, that'd be great.
You might have
I'd
to cancel
wipe
that
that
show.
building out, and I'd charge parking. I'd charge $5 parking on the weekends.
Just flatten it out.
Flatten it out.
Interesting.
You just have to pay one guy to be the attendant. It's real easy. Yeah, come on in. There's nowhere else to park in that godforsaken downtown. Those parking ramps are a joke. All right?
Yeah.
Absolute joke. They're falling apart. There's feces in them.
Ooh.
I mean, it's like downtown San Francisco.
Well, then we've got
It's crazy.
and some more just local housekeeping news. Then we've got some crazy radicals coming in talking about immigrants.
Who?
At a church. You were gone. I can't believe you. I can't believe you didn't read this one. There were some people that came into a local church and talked about immigrants and immigration and reform and building a wall and how we're all affected by the immigrants. It's in the paper. I don't need to get too far into it.
Yeah, it was in Bettendorf, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was at a Baptist church, yeah.
Okay.
It was just a little, and then now the Scott County GOP comes out and denounces it, says like that's not what they're all about, because some of these people have been labeled as, hate groups. So,
well, one of the guys going is the guy that goes around and cleans up cities. I saw that. He's the guy that helped clean up like 500 tons of trash in Baltimore and LA.
I don't think that's the guy I'm talking about.
But maybe this was a different thing.
Yeah, we're talking about something completely different. It's just one of those other things. Like I don't know. It's it was just not the best. It's not the most fun thing to not been the best like 3 days of headlines. How's that to read in the Quad Cities?
Wow.
About things. So,
well, let's be positive, Jay.
That's it. That's exactly what we should do. I forgot about Positive Monday.
Everybody love everybody.
Everybody love everybody. All right. Well, let's take a break. Let's take a look at college football playoffs. Let's take a look at the awards from the Big Ten, because someone did really good on those predictions. Really good. Somebody did.
Somebody's not tooting their own horn, are they?
No. And then we'll look at my predictions for the offensive awards for the Big Ten as well. So a little bit of college football, and we have college football playoffs. Still haven't heard back from Emily Van Buskirk. Would love to talk to her, and I'd love to hear how she's going to tell me that Oklahoma's not going to jump Utah in the final college football playoff rankings, but I'm here to tell you that it's definitely going to happen. So we'll talk when we come back.
Friday, December 13th, Oscar Pub welcomes back Pat McCurdy live 8 to 10:30 p.m. During this break, help Oscars celebrate Christmas in style with their Santa Claus raffle. Every person in the house will receive a raffle ticket with a chance to win a wrapped present from Santa. Also that night, they're teaming up with Toys for Tots. If you're bringing a toy, you get your first drink free. Once again, that's Friday, December 13th at Oscars Pub. Pat McCurdy live 8 to 10:30, a Santa gift giveaway, and a Toys for Tot fundraiser. That's 5027 Competition Drive in Bettendorf, Oscars Pub.
From HawkeyeReport.com, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
If you're running a business, how much should you invest in retaining your employees? First Midwest Bank has ideas. In today's tight labor market, keeping your employees is more important than ever. A First Midwest banker can help you determine what type of 401k plan to offer. At First Midwest Bank, they're not just bankers, but expert financial advisors. Talk to one today. or visit wehaveideas.firstmidwest.com.
Score a touchdown on your next new or used purchase at Sexton Ford. With a huge selection of new Ford cars and trucks, you'll feel like you've entered the big game each and every time. You'll be treated like a pro player from sales to service, auto body to parts. Sexton also has a strong bench of mildly used vehicles, too. Why wait? The game's on at Sexton Ford in Moline.
Oh, yeah! Sexton Ford is the talk of the town.
ESPN 1170 AM is the Quad Cities sports leader and your home of the local sports show. Don't hassle us, we're local. Listen for a chance to win everything from tickets to free food. Every time you win and pick up your prize at the ESPN 1170 AM Pepsi ticket window, we'll give you a free Pepsi for the road as well. It's like winning twice. Get more chances to win by downloading the ESPN 1170 AM app or by going to ESPN1170am.com.
G&G Retailers is your one-stop gun shopping gunsmith store. Check out the experience, service, and prices that have kept them in business for 3 generations. Browse G&G's extensive selection of pistols, rifles, shotguns, and their huge reloading supply. Whether you're a first-time gun buyer, avid shooter, or collector, G&G Retailers gives you the best information to make the best purchase. From their family to yours this holiday season, visit G&G Retailers today on the corner of 17th Street and Division in Davenport.
At Casey's, we're not just here for made-from-scratch dough, fresh pepperoni, hand-cut veggies, and melty 100% mozzarella cheese. We're here for game night. Here for online ordering. And here for victory celebrations. Now at Casey's, get 2 large single-topping pizzas for just $9.99 each. Casey's, here for handmade pizza, here for good. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
Comfort and joy, things we take for granted. The youth at Arrowhead Ranch have not experienced the comfort or joy we understand. With the guidance and support of Arrowhead's compassionate team, there is a comfort level the youth develop that empowers them to do their best and try new things. The result? A sense of joy and accomplishment and the courage to grow into an amazing person. This season, consider supporting Arrowhead's mission and help our local youth find comfort and joy during the holiday season. All donations are tax deductible. Visit arrowheadyouth.org.
On your way to modern Woodman Park, take us with you. Download the ESPN 1170 app today and never miss a thing.
All right, everybody coming back out of break here in the Hassle Castle. Jadebird's about ready to brag about himself.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure of that.
Yeah. So yesterday, the Big Ten, they had their awards. They do a 2-day thing. It's called the Big Show, with the one in the middle. And it's at 4 o'clock Central Time. And for 2 days, they announce the defensive team. That was yesterday. And then they do the offensive team. And they give it the individual awards. And yesterday was the actually, I just switched my here. Yesterday was the defensive individual awards, and we just did a quick prediction where we thought it was going to be. I mean, some of it's not hard. Defensive Player of the Year, Chase Young, right?
Yeah, from Ohio State.
Yeah, and Defensive Lineman of the Year, Chase Young. Then for the Buckus Fitzgerald Linebacker of the Year, I went with Dele Hardin of Illinois. He did not win it. Micah Parsons from Penn State did. Defensive Back of the Year, Antoine Winfield, check. Kicker of the Year, Keith Duncan, check. Punter of the Year, Blake Higgins, check. Return Specialist of the Year, Javon Leak, check.
Okay. Where's A.J. Epinesa?
He was not Defensive Lineman of the Year. He did, but he was all Big Ten, first team.
Oh, okay.
Then Vasco was in for this, and I said that I believe that the Coach of the Year, because there's 2 of them, there's coaches and media, will be split. It happens. Not often, but it happens. I said the Coach of the Year voted on by the coaches would be P.J. Fleck, and the media would vote for Ryan Day.
So check.
Check and check.
Check.
Yeah.
So you've missed one so far.
I only missed one, the Linebacker of the Year,
Okay.
which I still feel better about my pick. All right, so the offensive awards, which are announced today at 4 o'clock. Offensive Player of the Year?
Quarterback for Ohio State. Or the
Justin
running back.
Fields, you think?
Or the running back.
You think the running back, too? I think it's still going to be Jonathan Taylor, running back Wisconsin.
Oof, yeah.
Fields is really good. Don't get me wrong. And you know what? While I'm doing this,
All right.
I'll pull up the stats here because I don't want to. Because I know Izeray's. Because this, you guys can read this on our Facebook. Our blog.
So we're starting with Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, because that's the big one.
You're saying who?
I think it's going to be Jonathan.
Taylor.
Jonathan
You're
Taylor.
saying Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be one of those three. All right.
I think so. Yeah. I'm going to pull up the statistics here, and we're going to talk our way through this. All right, let's just do individual. Because he led the Big Ten in rushing by over 100 yards. He averaged 6.3 yards per carry, 20 touchdowns. So, but let's just do overall offense then. Total offense. Sean Clifford has is total offense in the Big Ten. Then Justin Fields. And, so he's not even obviously not in the top 10 for the total offense, but he led the Big Ten in scoring. It's Jonathan Taylor, not J.K. Dobbins, not Fields. I think it's going to be Jonathan Taylor.
All right.
I think for what he's talking about Justin Fields, because Izeray's did say Justin Fields will win one. I get that, but we'll see. I have for the Thompson.
What are Taylor's stats again?
Okay, all right. Taylor stats.
Because Izeray's wants me to scream this here, and I kind of want to as well.
Okay, what's that?
37 touchdowns and 1 interception.
Okay.
For Fields?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of those touchdowns was the first play back after they shot his knee up and put a brakes on it. Like, hey, we need you in there. Can you go throw a touchdown pass real quick? Then you can come back and sit down. Okay.
It's going to be, I think it's one of those two for sure.
Then he'll get quarterback of the year, and we'll argue about that over who on my pick is too.
All right. Then all right, keep going then.
All
Let's
right.
do your picks.
Taylor's got 279 carries or 1,761 yards and 20 touchdowns.
4 Big Ten Players of the Week awards.
37 and 1.
All right.
I think that's a pretty strong case.
Voted on by the media. Justin Fields is a transfer. I made my case yesterday about Ryan Day and PJ Fleck.
Yep.
I'm making my case right now. The media is, if we're going to talk about how they put Scott Frost in there, and Pat Fitzgerald even said, this was back in July, he said that I think the Big Ten media, these guys that are making the votes, are guys that are 40 years old that don't use the internet and just think it's still going to be these guys. And I think he's right. I think they're going to be like, he's a transfer. We'll give it to Taylor. Again, but that's where I'm going to be wrong, is because we're going to come to quarterback of the year after we get to a couple others. Freshman of the year, David Bell, wide receiver, Purdue. The Thompson Randall L. Freshman of the Year award.
Yeah.
The Remington Pace Offensive Lineman of the Year, Tristan Wirfs, Iowa.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to be a close one, but I like that. I did put Tanner Morgan in for quarterback of the year. I see where I'm probably wrong. It's probably Justin Fields. But I went with Tanner Morgan. He has more passing yards. But now looking at it, and it's in, I know I can always go back and edit. I see your guys' point, and it's probably Justin Fields. But I'll stick with Tanner Morgan. Running back of the year is Jonathan Taylor. The receiver of the year, I think the Minnesota receivers, who are both very, very good, are going to split the vote by the media. So I think that's David Bell's going to come in and get that as well. And I'm talking about Tyler Johnson.
Freshman's going to get it?
Yep. I'm talking about Tyler Johnson from Minnesota and Rashad Bateman from Minnesota. They both have over 1,000 yards receiving. Both have 11 touchdowns. But David Bell has he led the Big Ten in receptions. Has over 1,000 yards receiving. Only 7 TDs though. His average is 7.2 per catch. I mean, average. He has 7.2 receptions per game, which is almost one higher than the next close, which isn't one of those two guys. But those guys average almost close over 90 yards receiving per game. I think Tyler Johnson and Rashad Bateman are going to split it. David Bell's going to get it as well. And then the tight end of the year, Bryson Hopkins, Purdue. He led Purdue in receptions, catches, yards, and also led all tight ends with receptions and yards. Not Purdue in yards. That was obviously David Bell. But led all tight ends with receptions, touchdowns, and yards. So that one's the slam dunk. So the Tanner Morgan, Justin Fields is where I'm going to end up being wrong. So And then the one that's the iffy will be the Receiver of the Year award. But I think the rest of them, I don't know. I don't think Justin Fields is going to. He can though. I mean, all those he had 450 rushing yards too to go with his passing yards. So I guess you could get him offense player. I just think it's still going to stay with Jonathan Taylor. Four Big Ten player offensive player of the week award. So as awarded by the Big Ten. But that's going to be announced this afternoon at 4:00, and then so we've got the college football playoffs to look at. We've got the rankings, and so nothing changed. Ohio State's still number 1. LSU is number 2. Clemson's 3. Georgia's 4. Any one of those 3 lose, Ohio State, LSU, Clemson, or all 3, they're all still invited to the party, right? Except for Clemson, maybe?
Well,
Bama's all the way down to 12.
Bama's out.
Yeah, just to give you... All right. Clemson could be the only one, and you guys heard Dabo over the weekend. Clemson would be the only one that's...
Dabo's ridiculous, by the way. We forgot to talk about that Monday.
What?
He's just a big baby. Get out of here with that garbage.
That he says you guys don't want to see us?
Nobody cares about you, Dabo, and your weird name.
I think it's a nickname.
Whatever.
I think we've been over that, haven't we?
I don't care. Quit calling yourself a weird name.
Pretty sure Buddy's probably a nickname too, but just saying.
Dabo.
I think... All right.
Hey, Dabo.
T-Roy.
Yeah. See? This is my real name.
Your real name had a hyphen in it?
No, but it's spelled the same.
Is that boy over there, Dabo?
If your birth certificate has a capital R in T-Roy, then you win.
You never know.
All right. We think Ohio State's going to win. We think LSU is going to win. We think Clemson's going to win. Even if Georgia beats LSU, I think that stays the same, and those 4 stay in. I think even if Utah beats Oregon on Friday night, Oklahoma beats Baylor, and Baylor vice versa, I think the Big 12 winner is going to leap over the Pac-12 winner if Utah wins. I really do. And here's why. 1, the Big 12 championship game is going to be more fresh in the mind. 2, no matter what Utah does on Friday night, there's no true real algorithm for them to follow to know what's in the playoff committee's mind. And it'll be more exciting Utah's good, and that's what I wanted to talk to Emily about to state the case and tell me how it's not going to happen, because she's great at this, but I really think Oklahoma wins. They're going to put Oklahoma in there. And that's just my opinion, though. Baylor could get in if they beat Oklahoma and Utah loses. And there's the coach that I was just telling you about, Matt Rule. And it was just 3 years ago that program was just completely down to nothing after Art Briles left and all the problems he had. So
with tons of problems.
Yeah. But if Virginia wins and beats Clemson, I don't know. I don't know where that's going to go. But it's going to get fun because now we get to start speculating where at the end of this week, we get to start speculating where the Bulls are going to go. And then on Monday, then we'll know. And we could have a complete breakdown. And I know Andy from the Natty already set up a bowl thing that we did last year where we put
confidence.
The confidence pool for the bowl. So we'll actually promote that too as that goes on and everything. So what do you think? Do you think Utah should stay? If Georgia loses, Utah should get in there? Am I crazy for thinking that Oklahoma's going to jump them?
I would say that I feel the competition in the Big 12 is better than the competition in the Pac-12.
But do you? Because you don't. we don't see it. It's
but
Pac-12 after dark.
Yeah, but just off national rankings, just off things that we know and we've seen.
It's going to be recency bias.
I get it. Yeah. I think you got good things going on at Kansas State. Oklahoma State's not bad.
I would say with LSU's wins over Auburn and Bama, they should only drop to 4. LSU.
Yeah,
If
they
yeah.
lose, they're still in. They're still in.
If they lose,
But if
then
Georgia, but if Georgia
Ohio
loses,
State's still in.
So you're saying
Georgia-
if Georgia loses?
Georgia's out if they lose.
I think so too.
I'm worried about Clemson. If Clemson loses, does that change
who's
something?
Clemson playing?
Virginia.
There's no way they're losing that game.
They're not going to, but if they did, yes, they should be out if they lose. If they lose to Virginia, yeah, out of the top 4.
They haven't lost since 2017.
Yeah, why are they ranked 3rd?
They haven't lost since 2017.
I don't know.
Fine, let me speculate
I mean,
this.
you can't
Let me
rank
speculate
them
this.
on what they did 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
No, fine, then rank them on what they did this year. Haven't lost.
Yeah.
Well, neither are the 2 teams above them.
I know.
So it's not like they're getting.
But they are defending champs. They're still going. They haven't.
It's not like okay.
No, okay. So one note. I see your point, T-Roy. I'm kind of playing devil's advocate on this
Okay.
a little bit. The point is, they're not basing it on this year either. They're basing it on the strength of schedule that they have upcoming and their opponents. It's not based on anything that matters anymore. It's based on your strength. Like these teams jumping and getting knocked down and they win week after week after week, but then their position goes down one because somebody else had a bigger win. We didn't lose either. Why are we moving? Sorry, we went out and won again. My bad.
Yeah. Well, you're an
Erickson says,
advocate.
call Clemson Carl. Yeah, he's going to say they should be number 1, too. Duh. And LSU Larry's going to think that they should be number 1.
Let me.
LSU Larry.
Okay, all right.
Is there an LSU Larry?
There is now. There,
Ohio State Oscar is going to say that he should be number 1.
There is one now.
Well, we're number 1 because we're number 1.
Iowa Hawkeye Ian.
I was going to say Ira.
I
Don't
just
give Ian that much
want
credit.
Ohio State, let's say Ohio State plays close to Wisconsin. LSU blows out Georgia. Does LSU jump Ohio State to the 1?
Why would they?
Because they just
So
blew
Ohio
out a team.
State is number 1 again?
They still are.
Yes. Yeah,
It's
they were
Ohio
last week.
State,
You
then LSU.
looked at rankings. Not
Ohio
the
State,
college football
LSU,
rankings, yeah.
Clemson, Georgia.
If Wisconsin takes it to Ohio State to the very end.
The number 8 team takes it down to the end, and Ohio State still wins. Or LSU,
and LSU blows out Georgia. Any
blows
chance LSU
out the number 4 team.
Yeah.
Then are they going to switch spots? Probably.
I just don't want to see.
They're not going to blow out the number 4 team.
I don't want to see Ohio State
Are they
and
playing
Clemson
it in
in
the Georgia Dome?
semifinals.
Aren't they playing this game in the Georgia Dome?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So it's a home
Yes, it
game
is,
for
yes.
Georgia.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't want to see Ohio State in semifinal and Clemson semifinals. I just think it's too good of a game. I think it's a waste. So, yeah, I again, that's what. All right, so we just said that Clemson has not lost since 2017. If Clemson were to win the national title this year, that would be 3 out of the last 4. Why does Dabo stick around? What if David Tepper of the Carolina Panthers says, "Hey, come on down, stay in the Carolinas"?
Do it, Dabo. See how it goes. And watch Clemson Carl pick a new favorite football
So
team.
here's a good one, not to change subjects, but back on what you're just
We'll
talking
come
about.
back to it.
Lumi says LSU will be number 1 no matter what if they win. So even if they just win, it's not even a blowout. They just beat the number 4 team.
Because it's strength of who they just played.
Right.
He has a point. It might happen.
It probably will. Ohio State.
I don't have a problem with
Ohio State blows out Wisconsin. LSU just beats Georgia. Period. By 4 points. They're still going to jump Ohio State because they just knocked off the number 4 team.
I think Ohio State ends up winning it all anyway, no matter what. So put them wherever you
They're
want.
ridiculous.
Put them wherever you want.
Right.
That's my thought.
Well, that's what they're saying is if you dropped to 2, then now you got to play Clemson.
Good. You got to have to play Clemson no matter what anyway. Maybe, right? I mean, is Clemson better than LSU, you guys? Do we think? I would say I think so.
Yep.
I think they play better defense. Just my thought. But I think Ohio State beats them all. So what does it matter? If you're going to have to play Clemson eventually, if you believe what I believe, if you think Clemson and Ohio State are the 2 best teams, and you think Ohio State has the edge, I mean, LSU's not bad, but, I mean,
Yeah, they're
they
pretty good.
give up some points.
trying to look at strength of schedule here. And as far as the top 10 that is concerned out of the rankings, Ohio State has the hardest strength of schedule right now. LSU is 3. Penn State is 2. So I don't know if that will jump up LSU after beating Georgia. They're according to this ranking, and this is just FBSschedules.com. And I try not to go to the very first thing that popped up when you Google it because you never know what SEOs are paying for what. I guess that's the thing to look at. If LSU go again, I don't want to see Ohio State and Clemson in the semifinals, but I don't think the committee really cares what I want to see. So,
well, it's either Ohio State and Clemson in the semifinals or LSU and Clemson in the semifinals. So, what do you want? I mean,
yeah, I don't care about that.
Yeah,
That's
just
fine.
whatever.
Fine.
I could watch that. I could watch that Bama Auburn game all day though. I'd watch that again.
All right. So, and honestly, and that's one thing to actually, like you said, that is something to ask Clemson, Carl. What he wins 3 out of the 3 national titles in the last 4 years. Hasn't lost since 2017. What stops? Why stay? Besides however many, he just signed a contract extension. He makes like $7 or $9 million or something like that.
Keep it going
to keep winning ACC titles that he just flat out said you guys don't want to see us win anyway, or you don't care about our conference, even though he said straight like it's
whatever. Good. I hope he goes because as soon as he's gone, I guarantee that program tanks.
So that makes him a great coach,
or a great recruiter, or good cheater.
You don't know he cheats.
All right.
You don't know that, but
all right. Let me talk about this. Let's just think about this. Just throwing it out there, and maybe I'm crazy, but for the last 30 years of my life, until the last 4, Clemson didn't exist when it came to college football. No one even talked about Clemson. They didn't even move the needle anywhere.
You 83, right? 82,
83.
81.
All right. Well, I said 30 years, so that covers
I thought you were
that.
talking about your lifetime.
I said the last 30 years of my life.
You're right. Okay. Until then.
So what did they do in 83?
81, 80, they won a championship. 81, 82, 83, something like that.
Okay, I don't even remember that. So there you go.
There's something. I don't know. Serge can tell you Clemson did.
So for 30 years, this great historic program was nothing until the last 4.
So what are you saying? Something's dirty?
Something's dirty, Jay.
It's the same way I feel about YMCA's.
How?
I mean, it's dead serious.
All right.
Your theory works for my theory about YMCA's.
Here's my thing. Florida. Oh, my God. They were so great when Urban Meyer was there. Urban Meyer leaves. All of a sudden, Florida's not good anymore in football?
But they were fine when the ball coach was there.
Uh-huh.
They were doing fine.
Well, fine, but not like Urban Meyer fine.
He won 2, right?
So he leaves.
81, Jay. 81, 2016, 2018.
Yeah, so it's a good 35 years of difference.
Uh-huh.
Same thing I feel about the Y.
I'll say Urban Meyer.
Something's fishy.
Something's fishy. Just
so let's see what he can do. Just leave. Go, Dabo. You know what I'm saying? Do you not get that itch? Do you know what
if I don't wipe well, I do.
Oh, really?
I thought the Dabo.
But I mean, 3 out of 4 years, you don't lose a game in 3 years. You're cruising through the ACC. Don't you just say like if Tepper gives you the reins to it and build up a program? Cam's gone. You have Will Greer, who was a preseason Heisman favorite before the 2018 season, and you got one of the Allens, and we all know the Allens are the best last name in college football and pro football. Just say build up this program that you built up that was nothing for 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
Go stay in the Carolinas.
We got to go visit the Carolinas.
Okay.
Go down and check it out.
Like I said, there's going to be tons of speculation of where people can go, coaching wise or whatever else. I think if I was the owner of the Carolina Panthers, Tepper, it'd be the first phone call I'd make.
To Dabo.
Yep.
Dabo.
Absolutely.
Dabo.
Is there any offensive coordinators out there right now that you think, or defensive coordinators right now that you think that are the next head coach?
No, I've always hated that because think about this. Who, other than Bill Belichick, who is a disciple of?
Parcells.
Okay. Other than him, very few disciples have gone on. Sean Payton is one. He was a disciple of Belichick. or no, I'm sorry, Parcells.
Mm-hmm.
But you think about like the
I got
tree
one
of
for you.
the tree of
I got one for you for Dallas.
Okay.
Josh McDaniels.
No.
Why?
No.
He's used to being under the emperor. He's used to, he was the face of the Broncos, and it didn't work for him. Now you let Jerry Jones do all the talking. He just gets to be the coach. He doesn't have to sit there and deal with all that BS, all the cameras in his face all the time. He comes up there. He can do we're moving on to the Eagles. We're moving on to New York Giants.
Maybe.
And then Jerry Jones steps right in. Down all. We played like we were madder than a hornet in a Coke can. And then let him do that.
What? Where'd you get that from?
I don't know. I heard it a long time ago.
Good
I
Lord.
feel that's right. Yeah.
Madder than a hornet in a Coke can. I don't know. Think about that. Think about of all the coaches, the Bill Walsh era. Some guys under him went on to be successful. Gruden.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Reid.
Okay.
He came from that tree. Who's the guy that was a coach for the Niners and then he's on
Mariucci.
Yeah, Mariucci was decent.
Yeah. Yeah, he won Super Bowl.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Holmgren was from that tree.
Yep.
So there's some people from the 49ers stuff, but like
There's
Jimmy
some from
Johnson,
Shula, too.
Jimmy Johnson's tree.
Landry, you have Dicka from Landry.
Well, Butch Davis came from Jimmy Johnson. Butch Davis was a pretty good coach.
Yes, but Dicka came from Landry.
Landry had some guys from his
Yeah,
tree.
I'm sure Shula did too. But I'm telling you, I think Josh McDaniels might be another. It's just like Urban Meyer said. That's a phone call you don't turn down. I just think I'm sorry.
What, you talking about Dallas?
Yeah, you don't.
Well, of course you don't.
Like I said, Josh McDaniels is another one. Saban's another one too. I think those two could be a pretty decent fit. Stay focused on your job. You don't have all the bright lights, everything else. Worrying about if it's $18 pizzas and it charge you $80 to park a car. Let Jerry do all that stuff. Put a big jumbotron in the middle of it. I don't know. Revamp Dallas again, the television show. I have no idea. Yeah. All right. The Panthers fired Ron Rivera yesterday. Like I said, 8+ seasons. He saw him go to 1 Super Bowl, win 3 NFC South titles. He won 54.2% of his games. He was the 7th longest tenured NFL head coach. He was hired in 2011. There are only 6 head coaches with longer active tenures, 3 in the NFC, 3 in the AFC. Who are they? Guess after we come back from break. That's a teaser in the
Dang
base.
it.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
All right, you have to all right.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I know. I have to read to you out the air. Yeah, there are 6 coaches that are tenured. They're tenured longer than him.
All right, okay.
We'll talk about it after break.
Harrington's Pub is the Quad City's premier Irish pub. Come celebrate any day of the week at Harrington's Pub and enjoy the best prices around. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6, $2.50 domestic bottles and drafts, and $2.50 wells. Today is Wednesday, so you're going to get some $3 flavored vodkas. That's right, Harrington's Pub, putting the H into hangover since 2005.
This is Randall, the QC hot dog guy. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
In business, is it better to build your way to growth or buy your way? First Midwest Bank has ideas. It's a critical decision and different for every company. A First Midwest commercial banker can help you weigh your options. Because at First Midwest, they're not just bankers, but expert financial advisors. Talk to one today or visit wehaveideas.firstmidwest.com. M&A momentum, strategic momentum, business momentum. First Midwest Bank.
Once a year savings at the McGrath Used Car Superstore of Davenport. Gavin McGrath, it's the last year-end sale of the decade?
If you shop just one sale in the Quad Cities, this is it. First of all, we're ready to swap. Push pull or drag your trade in, you're going to get top dollar. And with year-end sale pricing, drive home in a nicer vehicle to enjoy the holidays.
Shoppers are going to be amazed at the selection.
In the savings, over 2,500 pre-owned vehicles to choose from, with payments from $167 a month. Year-end pricing on the Quad Cities' best selection of certified used trucks from $10,988. Pre-owned Silverados, Sierras, Rams, F-150s from $10,988.
Not only will the McGrath Used Car Superstore trade for anything, All credit applications are accepted.
Nobody works harder than our credit team to help get you approved for these incredible year-end savings.
The McGrath Used Car Superstore of Davenport, 4618 North Brady Street.
Log on McGrathAuto.com.
From local to global, ESPN 1170 has you covered. Your Quad City Sports Show is here for you. Don't hassle us. We're local with your favorite foursome, T-Roy, Jay-Bird, Surge, and you. Weekdays noon to 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader. ESPN 1170 AM wants you to be an insider. Get access to great contests at ESPN1170am.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged. From the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
ESPN 1170 AM is the Quad Cities Sports Leader and your home of the local sports show. Don't hassle us, we're local. Listen for a chance to win everything from tickets to free food every time you win and pick up your prize at the ESPN 1170 AM Pepsi ticket window. We'll give you a free Pepsi for the road as well. It's like winning twice. Get more chances to win by downloading the ESPN 1170 AM app or by going to ESPN1170am.com.
Comfort and joy, things we take for granted. The youth at Arrowhead Ranch have not experienced the comfort or joy we understand. With the guidance and support of Arrowhead's compassionate team, there is a comfort level the youth develop that empowers them to do their best and try new things. The result? A sense of joy and accomplishment and the courage to grow into an amazing person. This season, consider supporting Arrowhead's mission and help our local youth find comfort and joy during the holiday season. All donations are tax deductible. Visit arrowheadyouth.org.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB, Davenport.
All right, Quad Cityans, we're back here in the Hassle Castle. I got a special announcement. If anybody out there is standing next to Sissy Went, give her a hug. She needs one right now.
Before we left, we were headhunting for jobs for Dabble Sweeney, who's not unemployed.
Yet.
But yet. Well, he's not going to be fired.
Yeah.
There's an opening in Carolina Panthers, and I just think it just makes sense. For me, for Clemson Carl, for the Clemson Tigers, for the NFL, to see have someone go up to the next level. I just don't understand why you just sit there and just keep collecting ACC titles. But, hey, teach don't. But the reason we brought that up was because Ron Rivera was let go. Before we went to break, I said that Ron Rivera was hired in 2011.
Yep.
There are only 6 current coaches in the NFL that were, at the time when he was the 7th longest tenured NFL head coach. There are only 6 head coaches with longer active tenures.
I think I got this.
3 in the NFC, 3 in the AFC.
You tell me where to start.
Do the AFC.
AFC, Bill Belichick.
Check. Hired in 2000.
John Harbaugh.
Check. Hired in 2008.
Mike Tomlin.
Check. Hired in 2007.
Nailed the AFC.
NFC.
Jason Garrett.
Yes. Hired in 2010.
Sean Payton.
Yes. Hired in 2006.
Pete Carroll.
Absolutely. 6 for 6.
There you go.
Good for you. All right, Monday. We told you guys to get your hassle-hating fingers ready, but this is sports-related. You watched the documentary. I watched the documentary. You were gone yesterday. We'll talk about it quick. We're going to be joined by Bobby Metcalf here in about 15 minutes.
Bobby's been getting in shape. Maybe he's on this.
Well, that's good. Maybe while he's driving here, he's listening. He can fill in on it. I did try to get a hold of Pat Miletich, talk to him a little bit. He's busy training people now.
The thing is, I saw Pat tweet about this back when he first watched it. I'm pretty sure he knows the UFC guy who...
he said he's seen it a few times.
Yeah, he knows the UFC guy that commentates this whole thing.
This is one of those things... that Netflix that just starts trending, like Making a Murderer or Shameless or gosh, I don't know what else. It's a documentary. It's called The Game Changers.
That's right.
And it is about a plant-based diet and how this is the new way for, not the new way, but for athletes to train their body. And it disproves a bunch of myths about protein from meat, about how soy,
it just talks about plant-based. It talks about plants. And getting your proteins from plants as opposed to getting them from meat.
Okay, let's talk about this because one, I am very what's the word? I'm not cynical. I'm just skeptical, I guess.
Skeptical. There you go.
Yeah,
I'm skeptical too. But this is where I was skeptical when when they turned it a little bit and they started throwing out the whole, well, and then if you pull in the part where you think about where the cows are putting so this stuff in the air, like this, and I go, guys, stop right there. There was a time when there was herds of buffalo that covered the entire plains that you couldn't even, what I'm saying? It was crazy. They were eating grass and
They sound delicious, T-Roy.
Yes, and they were emitting gases out of their butts as well. So I don't want to hear about all this with the farm animals and that. But what got me, where you can't be cynical, is when they take the blood and they spin it, and you look at your plasma. How clear is your plasma after eating a bean burrito and a steak burrito?
Yeah, but this was one day.
What's one burrito? And they had 3 different dudes, 3 top-level athletes they did it with.
Yeah.
Like Kenny Stills was one of them.
Did you ever donate plasma, T-Ray?
No.
Oh, so I did back in college. We're broke. We like, hey, look, we can go get money by donating our plasma. Idiots. But we would do that, and I noticed if you had a fatty meal, like 1 or 2 meals before this, it made a big difference in how your plasma looked.
Yeah.
And it's
Really?
right now. Oh, big time.
That
It
quick?
was- absolutely. I can attest. Firsthand experience.
Bobby Metcalf just joined us. Bobby, have you seen Game Changers on Netflix?
Run, Bobby, run. No.
Okay, well,
No.
we'll talk.
No.
Well,
no,
and
it's
I
fine.
thought, but Bobby's we brought it up before you walked in.
He looks good.
Looking good. Been getting in shape.
Are you on
I
a
mean,
plant-based diet?
No.
Just on a workout, but you're watching what you eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not plant-based.
But you're eating a lot of veggies, all right?
I'm eating vegetables, but I'm having meat too.
Okay. And that's my thing, Jay. Is I don't think I'm going to cut. There's no way I could cut meat out completely.
I do a lot
for
of
the rest of my life.
I go in spurts, but I do a lot of meat substitutes. Like I'm not
Yeah.
going to cut it out, but there are some healthier options that are higher in protein, lower in fat, and everything else that I will switch to once in a while that still taste good.
Like,
but tell you what I'm not going to do, T-Roy. I'm not going to take my hamburger, cheeseburger, my steak, and cut it up to make it look like a leaf.
I do chicken and turkey a lot, and then red meat every so often. But it's a lot more chicken and turkey than.
So here's my thing with any bird. I think they all.
Jaybird.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just talking about the
Oh,
bird
here
that
we
we
go.
eat. But seriously, if you just had like a plain chicken breast, it tastes like crap.
That's why you don't have a plain chicken breast.
No. But you have to season the crap out of
Right.
it. All right.
No, you don't. You just make recipes that call for chicken and turkey.
Chicken's terrible. I don't like chicken anyway.
You
It's the
curry
same thing
every
with pork. Like pork's good if you cook it the right. You got to do slow pulled pork and put barbecue sauce on that. Listen, you can eat a plain hamburger.
I made a honey sriracha chicken dish the other night. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, because you had to season the hell out of it.
Not just because you put some.
No, you know what? You can take a steak or a hamburger and literally put pepper and salt on it. It's done.
Yeah, but it's worse for you.
I don't care. It tastes good.
Not really.
Yeah, I'll take it, dude. I'll take a fillet with pepper and salt over any chicken, turkey.
Yeah, but I'm not going to eat a steak every single day of my life.
When on Monday you came in and you're talking about the diet and everything, and you said, yeah, you watch that thing, you'll never want to eat. You won't eat meat again, which I've heard before. I mean, Howard Stern talked about. He's like, oh, you watch this. I thought they were gonna show animals being led to slaughter. It has nothing to do with
yeah,
that.
I don't care about that.
Well, this
you got to kill a plant to eat that too.
This was introduced in
the
our
plants
house.
just cry softly.
This diet was introduced in our house before we saw Game Changers, but it was more of a keto. Am I saying that right? Diet?
I don't know.
Yeah, keto.
Keto. And I'm
Sounds like
I
a
don't
game
know.
at the casino.
I don't know. Keno. And I was like, all right, whatever. As long as I don't have to, I'll try this diet. As long as it's not super expensive, and because I just don't want to make 3 meals for dinner. And then we watch Game Changers, and it's like, all right, plant based, which is fine. I
haven't had meat since Sunday.
Meat. I'm day 3. I'm on day 3.
I'm on day 3.
You're going meatless right now?
Yeah, I can't. I'm not going to tell you anything that I feel better, anything like that. When I talked to Pat,
I can tell you
texted
one
Pat.
thing.
Pat said you got to give it 3 months to see any real results. These guys made it seem like a day. That's the other thing I don't get.
All right, no. The one thing they did in this is they did a group of firefighters, Bobby, just to fill you in, and the firefighters were given a week's supply of basically meals that were plant based. All right, and then they came back the next week and they did tests on their blood and everything else. Some of these guys had high blood pressure. Some of them had problems with their cholesterol, whatever else. One dude, for example, within a week, his cholesterol dropped 100 points. That's amazing for that to happen.
Yeah, I remember those cavemen with those high cholesterol, eating those plant-based diets.
You don't know though.
Well, they did the archaeological dig there, and
we've been eating meat since we were like.
Well, they go in there. I'm not saying that,
that's
but they
not really
say
true.
that they say
ate
they
more
were
plants.
They said they ate more plants, but the plants always break down when they.
But also
dig
like
up the remains.
with the caveman theory, like I'm with you on that.
They ate it whole.
But also, they still ate a lot of plants, and that was still not processed.
Well, I'm not
meat a lot of
saying
times, too.
that we should only eat meat, but I'm
Right.
saying like to say that eat no meat.
Right, and that's all they had. Now we have other options for that too, of where to get our sources of our nutrients. So I see all sides.
I don't remember cavemen eating plant-based burgers.
I never really watched the caveman eat, so I couldn't tell you.
The Wonder Burger at Burger King. I don't remember that being around when cavemen were around.
I don't know.
Erickson says Burger King's
I don't
getting
remember
sued,
you
too.
being around with cavemen around.
I was saying.
I don't know. He kind of talks like a caveman sometimes.
All I'm saying
Bob,
is
you want to do this?
They do the thing too. They go look at the human teeth compared to what it's designed to chew, compared to like what true meat eater animals are designed to chew. But I go to Amy. Yeah, I go. They don't cook their meat either. I go. So let's calm down with that. I was skeptical on a lot of it too.
I just try to cut down on the processed stuff.
I think you were more excited about the whole penis study or whatever else that they showed of those college athletes.
Well, that was something to get excited.
This isn't the first time I've had bull penis before, Joe Rogan.
But they're just showing like, God, it's
lengthier and girthier is all it says.
I don't know where you get that from.
Time of erection and girth of the erection increased.
Girth
of the erection.
It's
what it said.
This is a documentary.
I'm not the one.
Game Changers. It's all sports related. It was all about athletes. I mean,
and they had
it
three
nothing to do with
guys from like Division I athletes, and then the other three were dudes from the NFL that they did the blood studies and
and then they had the
studies
guy's wife in the NFL who cooks all those meals.
Well, yeah, which is nice, by the way. If your wife was a gourmet chef that made you all these, her job was just
Plant-based
mainly make
chicken
you
wings.
food all day because
You would
brought
eat
in.
plant-based chicken wings, wouldn't you? If your wife would just make that for you all the
If she
time.
was gourmet chef,
No.
Yeah, it didn't work out like that.
Yeah, we don't have that. I mean, I'd like to try that.
I would too. Hey, honey, just stay home and cook me, make out these burgers that are gonna save my life.
Good luck with that.
If she's gonna stay home and cook, might as well have her cook meat then.
I'm fine, honestly. I'm fine with eating like Chinese noodles and vegetables with like Szechuan sauce. I could eat that.
Oh, I need
every day.
meat.
I don't think it will bother me that much. But it's just a matter of like I worry more about the preparation and all this other crap. You go down this, you start doing this stuff on
It's
Google.
not that hard, man. I had Mookie do it. I said, here's the deal. You're the prep. You're the
You
prep.
had Mookie do
I'm
it.
the
This
cook.
guy has a wife that's a chef.
But
I'm the one
I
that's
said
cooking 3 meals.
each week we're bringing in the peppers, all the stuff that you can get cut up and have it ready. Get it cut up and have it ready, or have it to the point where it's cut up. It has to be cleaned or whatever else. So I have it there. So we have everything staged and ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've done it, being different sorts of something each night so far. We got the quinoa around. That's always yummy.
Hey, eat what you want to eat, but don't judge me for what I eat.
No,
I don't.
never,
Thank you.
ever, never, ever, never, ever. I would never, ever, not one bit. So I talked to, I texted Pat, and he's busy.
Well, screw it. Let's go to McDonald's.
He said he knows a lot of world-class athletes who are plant-based, and he says he's experimented with it, and it does improve how he feels and performs. But he said 90 days is the best to test the full effects. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, he would know.
Yeah, he was the first person I thought of. I'm sure there's other people out there that I could contact, but it was just for today.
You just gotta watch it, Bobby. I'm not telling you you don't have to eat meat, but watch it. It's interesting.
So yeah, the thing is,
especially if you have like, any history in your family of like heart disease and stuff
I just
like
didn't
that.
know if it was going to take off running
But
because
not eating red meat. Red meat is higher in a lot of that stuff than the other ones.
I mean, Howard Stern sits there and talks about it and promotes it. It's going to blow up. People are going to watch it.
He's always been skinny. What the hell is he going to talk about?
He's
That's
100.
the thing. I mean,
he's 100%, but he
is literally like that. All right. By the way, have
You can be
seen
skinny and be unhealthy.
That's true, but I don't want to. It's different. Like, yeah,
Tommy
you're
Lee
healthy
from Motley
somehow.
Crue, yeah.
Yeah, Tommy Lee.
No.
Like it's like that chick from the Peloton commercial.
Oh boy.
Oh my God, this changed my life. Really, lady? How?
Is that big of a deal?
Dude, that is the dumbest commercial ever. I couldn't believe that I was not the first one to say it. Like, Amy goes, by the way, you made fun of it. It's like all over the internet today. And I go, well, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, everyone's making fun of it.
Isn't it like so dumb? Honey, you got me a Peloton. Oh, day one.
Maybe it changed her life because she looks forward to exercising, not because she went from 116 pounds to 112 pounds. Maybe that's just it. She just looks forward to where before she didn't want to exercise.
You know, there's things called actual bikes.
Yeah, I agree, but hey,
ride those in
gotta
the
get you going.
summertime.
You don't need to spend $3,500 on a spend.
I'm not doing that either. I agree. Just again,
What, $3,000 for the bike and $500 for the subscription? That's insane.
I'm not. I can't talk about spend a lot of money on bikes.
You can spend $10 and get a membership to a gym.
Yeah, you sure can.
This checks off all the boxes.
But
Just
you can't
eat
do
whatever you
it
want.
at
I'm
home.
not going to judge anybody, but
you can't roll out of bed and say thank you for the bike, honey.
I guess not.
I'm making fun of it.
Anyway, it's like I said. You watched it. I watched it. We said we'd give our review of it.
You changed my year.
I don't know how much what I think of it, but hey, we'll try it in our house for a little bit. See how it goes. We'll let you know. Oh,
that salad was delicious.
Okay. But I'm not going to be like vegan. I'm not going to do that.
You know what I've done though?
Okay.
Is instead of I've cut out like complex carbs.
Okay.
So like instead of doing like mashed potatoes, I'm doing like the cauliflower potatoes, cauliflower rice, that sort of stuff. That's like the change I've made.
What if you make your mashed potatoes yourself though?
It's still the same. It's still the same thing. It's not about who makes it.
It's just
about it's about the complex. Yeah, I'm trying to cut out like the complex carbs.
Apparently, you can have popcorn, but you can't have microwave popcorn.
Is that something? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I tried to look it up.
Air pop popcorn's better for you, or kettle cooked popcorn's better for you than microwave popcorn.
Yeah,
just because of all the oils.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, oh well, that's out.
So you're saying
T-Roy's still confused about this mashed potato thing.
So you're saying
basically cauliflower mashed potatoes.
I love cauliflower.
Okay, that's going to be a lot healthier for you than regular mashed potatoes.
That's fine.
So you're saying if I bought unpop, not like the stuff that you get in bags, but like the actual bag of like kernels,
Yeah.
and to pop that in a microwave, that's unhealthy for me?
Yeah.
Where do the oils come from in that though?
What are you talking about?
I'm saying if you buy like
you can't microwave popcorn.
I'm not talking
without
about
it being in a bag.
I'm not talking about the stuff you buy in the box that is like buttered or whatever. I'm talking about just you buy a bag of kernels,
right,
that have nothing on them.
You can't pop those in the microwave.
Yes, you can.
It's not going to turn out well.
Yes, it does. You just get it. You get a popcorn popper and put them in there and microwave them. It pops. I've been doing it since I was like a kid.
This is interesting.
You don't have to buy like the prepackaged popcorn. You just buy a bag of kernels and you pop them.
We don't. I try not to use the microwave ever because of the
That's different, but I'm saying like I'm confused. Are you saying like any kind of popcorn or just the stuff that you buy like the prepackaged?
It's the prepackaged one. So the other kind must be worth.
I didn't think you could pop regular kernels in the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, we're all for health, making yourself better or whatever else. I'm just saying. I just wanted to know what your dad's thoughts of it were. And because like most things, one person says, "Hey, you got to watch it," and everyone's always looking for something on Netflix. And Bobby, just like you said, you can eat whatever you want, just don't judge me for it, And I agree with that. So,
Don't be judging Bobby.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But we're gonna have to take a quick break. Come back. We're gonna talk with Bobby about about the Bears and college football playoffs, and then the high school basketball season starting for girls and the boys, and we have the Genesis Shootout coming up. So we'll be right back.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, pizza lovers, Van's Pizza More is open near the TBK Plex at the corners of Middle and Forest Grove Roads. They have outstanding daily specials with that Van's Pizza you love. Today is Wednesday. You have a buck off the wings and those baked pastas. All you have to do is call 563-232-1396. They're going to have it hot and ready for you to carry out, or you can have it delivered if you live in Bettendorf. Delivery is limited, so please ask when you call. Once again, that number 563-232-1396. That's Van's Pizza and More, 5023 Competition Drive in Bettendorf.
This is Brian Rothenberger, radio guy for the Quad City Storm. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
The experts at Helitech know that a sinking foundation is a serious problem. Uneven floors, separated baseboards, windows or doors that stick can all be signs of significant structural damage that needs to be addressed. Call the foundation repair experts at Helitech to get your free estimate today. If you don't address your foundation issues, they will lead to more serious issues, such as bowed walls, water damage, and even structural collapse. As your hometown foundation repair contractor for over 30 years, Helitech uses industry-leading solutions to repair your sinking foundation. Your home is the largest investment you will typically make. Who better to trust with your family's home than Helitech? They healed my home. They'll heal yours too. Helitech.
Heal your home with Helitech.
comfort and joy, things we take for granted. The youth at Arrowhead Ranch have not experienced the comfort or joy we understand. With the guidance and support of Arrowhead's compassionate team, there is a comfort level the youth develop that empowers them to do their best and try new things. The result? A sense of joy and accomplishment and the courage to grow into an amazing person. This season, consider supporting Arrowhead's mission and help our local youth find comfort and joy during the holiday season. All donations are tax deductible. Visit arrowheadyouth.org. In business, is it better to build your way to growth or buy your way? First Midwest Bank has ideas. It's a critical decision and different for every company. A First Midwest commercial banker can help you weigh your options. Because at First Midwest, they're not just bankers, but expert financial advisors. Talk to one today or visit wehaveideas.firstmidwest.com. M&A momentum, strategic momentum, business momentum. First Midwest Bank.
Winter sports on the Augustana College campus are primed and ready to heat up. Get set at sports like basketball, wrestling, swimming and diving, and women's bowling are on tap for a jam-packed season. Saturday the 7th, the Carver Center hosts a basketball doubleheader. The women battle Carroll at 5, then are followed by the men at 7. For game times, locations, and more information, visit augustana.edu. Augustana College, a family-friendly front-row seat to big-time small college sports.
Ace Muffler Clinic has been serving the Quad Cities area for over 60 years. There's a reason why our customers continue to trust us with their vehicles. We can fix almost anything. We can fix your muffler, tune your brakes, change your oil, change your tires, replace your battery, customize your exhaust, tune your engine, repair your suspension, replace your radiator and your water pump. Align your automobile, refill your transmission fluid, and change your filters. And we believe in doing all those things right the first time. For fast-friendly service, visit Ace Muffler Clinic at 4th Ave and 15th Street in Rock Island.
Know the lines, hear from the experts, and get your bets ready. Don't hassle us. We're Local is your source for all things sports gambling. Noon to 2 on ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, everybody, we're back here in the Hassle Castle with Bobby Metcalf from your Quad City Times, and we promise we'll talk about sports.
Yeah.
Stick to sports, guys.
Stick to sports, guys. Well, it's game changers. It was these guys are. I mean, I know they're extreme athletes, but world's strongest man, well, one of the world's strongest men, he does it, and UFC fighter and ultimate runner, and a woman who was the oldest to win a gold medal in her sport.
Like, if world class athletes jumped off a cliff, would you jump off a cliff?
Well, there is a cliff diving competition, so yeah, I guess if I was involved in it, yeah, I would.
I'm not doing it. I'm with Bobby.
I'm not. Yeah,
I am going to try this food. I love this stuff.
I'm skeptical. So I was skeptical. I just wanted to hear everyone else because instead of like if on Monday, I think you're a little bit more like, oh, it's different. And then I did listen to the interview with Howard Stern, and I was like, there's just no way that automatically it could be like this insane. Anyway, Bobby. The Genesis Shootout, we've heard the pairings. North Scott versus Rock Island, right?
Yep.
That's the marquee one. And then the next one's Moline Davenport Central.
No, you want me to go in order from top to bottom?
Sure, yep.
You got West Allman at 10 a.m.
Yep.
North Riverdale at 11:30. PVUT at 1. Assumption Moline at 2:30. North Galesburg at 4. Central Geneseo at 5:30. And North Scott Rock Island at 7.
What do you got for predictions, Bobby? Or do you try not to do that?
It's really hard to tell. Like, some of these teams have only played like 1 or 2 games, especially in Iowa.
Right.
Well, then Allman just worked Assumption yesterday.
Assumption the other way around.
Oh, Assumption the other way around. Sorry. Yeah, maybe I did read the headline wrong or whatever.
So, I mean, it's just hard to tell kind of what everyone is at this point. I mean, historically, the last couple of years, Iowa's kind of dominated this thing.
I remember last year they did.
They swept it.
Yeah, they swept it pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think North Scott Rocky will be a good game.
Both picked
Geneseo's got Rivera, Isaiah Rivera, obviously.
But DC,
well, they had a tough loss to Prairie last night, but they've got a lot of talent on that roster.
Yeah.
And you got Bettendorf Galesburg. Obviously, you got kind of some questions about what Bettendorf's going to be without DJ Carton. I mean, Assumption looks strong with Sean Peters. It's going to, but like I said, it's just really, like some of these teams played their first game last night, so it's kind of hard to figure out what everyone is.
And that's going to be a week from Saturday.
That is the 14th.
Yeah, a week from Saturday at the PepsiCo.
Carver.
Carver at Augustana. It's what was it? Is it $5 to get in for the entire day? $7, or vice versa? $5 for 7 games.
I thought that was this weekend.
Nope.
No,
it's
Muddy
the 14th.
Muddy Waters is this weekend, right?
No.
No, I'm sorry. I got that wrong. Muddy Waters is the week before the girls shootout. So
There you
that's
go.
what I had wrong.
Yeah.
I'm mistaken.
We have to look at the format for that.
It's Disney on Ice this weekend, boys.
It is Disney on Ice. It is Disney on Ice this weekend.
Why do you know that? Because you have to take your daughter?
Yeah.
Oh.
Got tickets for Sunday, man. You guys aren't going?
No, and take a lot of money.
Why?
Because you have to buy like these light up wands, and then you have to get like snow cones and.
Real quick, do they serve beer?
I'm sure they do. I don't know.
All right, then I should be able to get through. Beer's plant based, by the way.
Oh, did you double check that? Did you Google that real fast?
Oh, it's made from barley.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying.
Some of it has corn syrup in it, though. It's processed.
That's all right. I'll avoid the corn syrup ones.
So how's everything going with the Storm?
They're struggling a little bit. They lost 6 straight, made a big trade.
They did. What was the trade?
Traded John Javo, who was their second leading point guy, and then a rookie defenseman for this rookie defenseman from and then the rights to Will Smith. Will Smith could be coming to the Tax Layer Center, boys.
He's not going to Miami anymore.
Big Willie style?
Yeah, he's up in Wheeling right now in the ECHL, but if he comes down, he'll come down here. So
that'd be great. The Fresh Prince of Tax Slayer.
Oh, that's great.
But no, it's I mean they've been close in a lot of these games. It's kind of hard to figure out why they've lost 6 straight. Talking to a couple guys today, it's some lack of discipline hurt them the other night. Just not being consistent and not playing. They're playing like 40 good minutes and then 20 bad minutes, and those 20 bad minutes are hurting them. So got some stuff to figure out. Luckily, it's early. They still have time to turn it around here, but obviously a little bit disconcerting considering I think there were a lot more expectations on this team than last year.
Couple things to point out before we talk. We're going to continue to talk football. On this date in 1909, the inaugural Grey Cup of the CFL happened. The University of Toronto Blues beat the Toronto Parkdale Canoe Club 26-6 in the first ever Grey Cup.
Toronto what? Canoe Club? Hey, get your
110 years ago, the University of Toronto Blues beat the Toronto Parkdale Canoe Club 26-6 in the first ever Grey Cup, which is known as the Canadian Football League Super Bowl.
Do you know who won the Grey Cup this year?
It was the Toronto Argonauts.
That's wrong.
It was
Calgary.
the Calgary.
That's wrong.
Stampede.
Wrong.
The Winnipeg Militia.
You got the
Winnipeg Jets.
No.
What?
Winnipeg Heat.
Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You know what? It's right here, too. In case you missed it, the Blue Bombers won this year Grey Cup 2 weeks ago, beating the Hamilton Tiger Cats 33-12. The CFL briefly expanded to the U.S. in the mid-'90s, and the Baltimore Stallions made the Grey Cup twice, losing in 1994 and 1995. The most titles won have been by the Toronto Argonauts, and the most appearances have been by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Yesterday...
Did you know P.J. Fleck was the coach of that canoe club?
Yesterday...
That's from Chopper.
Yesterday, the XFL debuted all 8 uniforms of their 8 leagues. So we got some football thing going on.
How do they look?
I only saw the DC Defenders. They look like an all-red Thursday night game, like the Texans were wearing all red.
What about the Cowboys?
I haven't looked yet at the rest of it. I haven't dug deep into it, and I've been busy with the
they have a
Big
Dallas
Ten
team, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I might stay in Dallas.
But anyway, we were talking about the NFL, Bobby. And who do you think...
The actual league that matters? Yeah.
Yes, I know. The actual league that matters. And
wait, we're not all going in on this XFL, you guys?
We are going all in on the XFL. We just have some time.
With us?
How the
we're getting
that league that I forgot what it was called. Yeah,
the Alliance of American Football. We're XFL. We're gonna turn that corner.
Went dead cockroach on us.
Yeah. We're gonna turn that corner when it gets closer to after the New Year's, when we're gonna start scheduling people to talk to us about from the XFL.
Can we get Vince McMahon?
That's he's on the list, the short list.
Good.
Yeah, we're gonna have him talk about it.
I want a mirror. In the studio.
The Chicago Bears. Is there any changes in the
No.
future for the Bears?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Not at GM?
No.
Not at coach?
No.
Not at quarterback?
No.
Why?
Because Trubisky's on a rookie contract.
Okay, that's a very good point.
Because they're not going to give up on Nagy after one bad year after one catches the year last year.
We all know that the Cowboys don't do that. They'll let you
And-
go 3 or 4 more years.
And Pace ain't getting fired until Trubisky's contract's over.
Why is that?
Because that's what he's tied to. If they believe, if he plays well enough down the stretch here, he throws for 338 and 3 touchdowns the next 5 games, they're not going to fire Pace.
Is there anything at all about the Cam Newton that you think might be the change? No. No Ron Rivera speculation?
No. Maybe he's not in DC. No, there's going to be no changes.
That doesn't leave a lot to look forward to then, especially with the lack of draft picks and everything.
Yeah.
Don't say it like that. Like, oh yeah, that's the way
Ryan
it goes.
Pace kind of killed it. Ryan Pace kind of went all or nothing and probably killed the future of this team.
Ugh, that's brutal. That's brutal.
He might get fired next year. He's not getting fired this year.
But he's the one I put the crosshairs on, that if someone has to get blamed, it's got to be him.
Yeah, but he won't get fired this year.
Oh, that's...
They'll probably go, what, like 2-2 down the stretch here? So they'll finish 8-8.
Who do they have left?
Dallas, KC, Minnesota, and Green Bay.
Who are they going to beat?
I think they can beat Dallas.
I think they can beat Dallas.
Minnesota.
I don't think they're going to beat anybody down the stretch.
Is it at home against Minnesota?
What's
Is
Dallas'
it at
record?
home?
It doesn't
6-6.
matter. I'm just saying. I don't think they're going to beat Dallas. I mean, you could say
If it was
what
in
you want.
Jerry World, I'd say maybe, but it's in Chicago.
I don't think it matters.
Well,
I've been watching them play.
I'm not impressed with what I've seen out of the Cowboys the last.
I'm certainly not impressed with anything out of the Bears.
Well, I'm just saying.
I mean, you got to be a decent quarterback to beat Dallas.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, you're trying to say Trubisky's even nearly as good as Josh Allen?
I'm not, but I'm saying, is Josh Allen a decent quarterback?
He's decent. Yeah.
Hey, Tom.
His team's 9-3.
Hey, Trubisky's got better completion play percentage than Tom Brady. Just saying.
Okay. Well, he's not Tom Brady though.
I'm not saying he is. But
That's a whole one stat does not make you.
I'm
great.
just saying. I think Dallas is beatable, and I think Minnesota is beatable.
But you're playing in Minnesota.
Okay.
I don't think you beat them in Minnesota. I think it's a different game.
I think they can win 2 of those games, whether it's Green Bay or Minnesota or Dallas. But that's still not going to get into the playoffs. But I think 2-2. I think they're going to go 2-2 down the stretch.
I think they'll 0-4 down the stretch.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
Well, I think the rookie contract is fair, and Pace has connected that, but that's just not a good future to look at. And yeah, it's all or nothing. It's kind of almost what the Rams did as well. But that's not fun.
Is what it is.
But what happened then?
If they go 0-4 down the stretch,
Then what happened?
does
Because
anybody
they
get
were-
fired?
No.
I mean,
You're positive.
The expectations were that they were going to be there.
I can tell you what happened. They lost a close game to the Chargers. They shouldn't have lost. They lost a close game to they were unprepared for the Raiders game. They lost a close game to.
That's true.
I'm trying. There's one more in there.
Well,
I
they
can't
won
remember.
a close game against the
No, I know.
Broncos.
I know.
They
I'm
shouldn't
not-
have. I mean,
but I'm
we
saying,
can say
I'm saying that's what happened. Is they lost a couple of games that were close. I'm not saying they should have won those games. I'm saying that they lost a couple of games that were close. They won those games last year.
Okay.
You know,
Well-
so that's the difference between 12-4 and 8-8.
That's the Chargers.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they should. I'm not saying they should have won any of those
same
games.
boat. Chargers are what, 4-8 right now? Their 8 losses have been by 7 points or less.
I mean, the Bears' 2 worst losses are the Saints and the Eagles in terms of like point spread. But again, I'm not saying that they should have won the games that they lost. I'm just saying that that's the difference between being right now being 8-4 and 6-6, or 9-3 and 6-6.
Yeah.
You know, if Pinheiro makes a kick against the Chargers, if they don't decide to fly over to Oakland the day of or the 2 days before the game, and they win that game, they're sitting at 8-4, and nobody's talking about is anyone going to get fired. And that's why no one's going to get fired.
Because they're going to look at it from a rational point of view?
Weird, right?
That doesn't happen really, though.
Yeah, I think it will this time, though.
Just let it trust the process type of thing?
Yeah.
So isn't that the same thing to look at if you look at the Cowboys? Be like, well, they have all the talent there. It's just things didn't go their way.
Yeah, but how many more chances? I mean, this is, again, if this was year 8 of Matt Nagy,
Okay.
then I'd maybe agree with you. But this is not. This is year 2 of Matt Nagy.
Garrett has to go.
Garrett has to go. I agree.
I mean, I'm terrified of the fact that he's going to keep him. I mean, that literally is what's going through my head.
Actually, probably the best thing for the Cowboys is to lose the division. Because if they win the division and make the playoffs again, he's not firing Garrett.
Well, he doesn't have a contract, so he doesn't even have to fire.
Well,
him.
fine, but he's not gonna. He'll extend them if they win the division.
Even if
The only way he doesn't get Brett back is they miss the playoffs. I think.
I mean, right now they can win the division to just win the next 3 of the next 4. That's all they have to win. They can.
No, I know, but you think Jerry's gonna fire him if they make the playoffs again? I don't.
They should. There's games they should have. They should have never lost to the Jets. They played like crap. They were under. They're the worst coach team, and they're probably one of the worst coach teams.
Okay, so the NFL, and we talked a little bit earlier about
Bears a pretty bad coach too.
The NFL, and we talked a little bit about the NCAA football. We obviously with the college football playoff rankings coming out and speculation there, it's obviously we all know that it's the most talked about, most read about thing out there. Based on Google Trends and survey data, you can take a look at the most popular teams in each state. And that goes across from the NFL to like MLB to NBA to the NHL to men's NCAA football, men's basketball.
So you got to guess each state. What's their favorite?
You don't
team?
have to. I'm just going to
do
guess. All right. There are.
Put it down so we can't see.
So this is the Big Four plus college football
and men's basketball. All right.
So, but you're putting like you're not saying like somebody's like Alabama's. It's just Alabama. It's not Alabama football. It's just Alabama, right?
Yeah. So the state of Alabama. So if him and I were going to guess, we would say the Crimson Tide.
But we're not talking about the Crimson Tide football. We're talking about just the program.
It's football.
It is football.
Yeah.
So they do have it broke down.
Yep, they have it broken down by each one. So, like I said, it's the Big Four and then men's basketball.
So you get a guess the favorite team or the favorite sport?
The favorite team.
So it's 6.
There's 6.
There's
yes,
6 options.
All right. Do you want to guess who has which one has the most?
Most what? Favorites?
States? Yeah, most favorites.
Dallas Cowboys.
No. Like which out of the 6 we just gave you, the NFL or the MLB, and who's got the most?
NFL.
Okay. Do you want to guess who's got second?
Baseball.
Co-sign or not?
Or just
yeah.
I'm asking him.
College.
Yeah. Baseball.
College football count? No.
College football is it?
Really
College
regional.
football's in there, and men's basketball's in there for college basketball.
Okay.
And then you have your Big Four. All right.
I'll still say baseball.
Yeah.
It is NCAA football.
Really?
Is number 2.
God, I feel that'd be a lot more regional.
And then baseball is 8. Yes, they're number 3. They have 8 states.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Those are their 8th.
No. Then
8 states identify as
Yes,
baseball.
sir.
There's that team's their favorite team.
and then we have men's basketball, NBA, and NHL. What order?
NHL's dead last.
NHL's dead last. They have 1 state. Well, they're tied for dead last. Sorry.
I would say
college
college basketball is ahead of NBA.
NBA, yep.
They're tied with 1 state each. NBA has 3 states.
Is that
Let me
state North
guess.
Carolina?
No, it's not for NCAA basketball. No, it's not North Carolina.
I'll bet for NBA it's California.
No.
No.
Huh.
New York.
No.
Cleveland.
That's not a state.
I mean,
no.
No, that's got to be Ohio State.
This is all based on Google Trends and survey data.
All right, start giving us states. Let's see.
So
I'll give you state. Fine.
Iowa's going to be Hawkeye football. Right?
Iowa's Hawkeye football.
All right.
Yes. All right. What about Illinois?
Bulls.
Bears.
Neither.
Cubs.
It is the Cubs. It's one of 8 states.
All right, keep going.
St. Louis, Missouri's got to be the Cardinals.
Missouri is the Cardinals. Very good. State of Florida.
Hurricane football.
It is football, but it's not the Miami Hurricanes.
Dolphins.
Gators.
It is the Florida Gators.
Wow.
You did mention this before. California.
See, this one's going to get me then. If it wasn't the Lakers,
49ers.
the Raiders.
None of those.
UCLA?
No.
USC?
No.
I don't know.
The Rams?
It's the Dodgers.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Ohio.
Ohio State Buckeyes.
It is,
Football.
it is Ohio State Buckeyes. Kentucky.
Wildcat basketball.
That's your only basketball. Arizona.
Cardinals.
It is the Cardinals. Alaska.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it's fun, huh?
The Vancouver Canucks.
No,
Alaska?
it's not. It's a good guess, though. It's not.
Alaska's favorite team.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotta be. That's gotta be the hockey team, right?
It's not the hockey team.
Give me a hint. Is it football?
It is football.
The Seahawks.
Seattle Seahawks.
It's the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you guess the only state that is NHL?
Maine.
Is it Minnesota?
No.
Maine.
No.
Connecticut.
No. Wrong area.
Montana?
North Dakota.
No. No. It is
Colorado. No.
No.
Michigan.
No. Las Vegas.
Oh my! So Nevada. Wow.
Yeah. Nevada is. What about New Mexico?
Dallas Cowboys.
Good call. It's the Dallas Cowboys. What about Oklahoma?
Dallas Cowboys.
Sooners.
No and no.
Thunder.
Yes, it's the Thunder.
Really?
Yeah. North Dakota.
Vikings.
The Bison.
Yes, it's the North Dakota State. Yeah, Bison. Idaho.
Ooh.
Seahawks.
Utah Jazz.
No.
The Vandals. Boise
Oh,
State.
it's Boise State, yeah.
Dang it.
North Carolina.
Ooh, this one's going to be
I
tough.
said those are basketball ones, so it's not college basketball.
I'll say Panthers.
It's the Panthers. South Carolina.
Hurricanes.
Clemson.
Clemson. It is Clemson.
Sorry, I had the NHL.
What's Georgia?
What's the state of Georgia?
Yeah.
You tell me.
Braves.
Neither.
Georgia Bulldogs.
It's the Bulldogs.
Yeah. Alabama's the Crimson Tide, obviously.
It is, yeah. Ole Miss is from Mississippi.
The
Michigan.
Saints are
Michigan. State
Red
of Michigan.
Wings. No, you already had the NHL one. Damn.
Oh, Michigan?
The state of Michigan.
It's got to be the blue. Go blue.
It is.
What about Louisiana? Is it LSU or the Saints?
It is the Saints. Yeah. There's 21 states that identify with the most popular team in each state.
What about Massachusetts? Do they go Red Sox or Patriots?
It's Patriots.
Okay.
All right.
What about New York? New York had to go Yankees.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut all picked the Yankees. That's 3 out of the 8 states that all Yankees. And as far as the NFL goes, the Patriots have the most favorites because
What
of
states do they get? Like Rhode Island, Delaware?
Massachusetts, Maine, and
Vermont, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
All right.
The
How
Red
many
Sox
did
did
Dallas
get the other one.
2?
Dallas got 2. They got Texas and New Mexico. So they're one of the only. Dallas is the only.
What did Wisconsin? They had to pick Green Bay.
They did.
All right.
Dallas is the only NFL team to get 2 states. No, I'm sorry. The Patriots have 4, but and so baseball wise, New York's got 3. There's not a lot of other double ups.
So you said there's 8 states that are with baseball?
Yes.
We had St. Louis, or we had Missouri, Illinois, those 3 with the Yankees.
So there's 5.
Okay, yeah.
So we got to pick the other 2. Then California.
No, that was the yeah, right. That's the Dodgers.
You had Cubs,
6.
Cards, and Dodgers.
Yep.
And then you threw in you got to throw in.
So there's 2 more that we got to pick for baseball. I would say Colorado Rockies, but no, that probably went Broncos, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Where did Oregon go?
Oregon went
Ducks.
Oh, there's a second one. Sorry. Wait, hold on. No, Oregon is. They went Portland Trailblazers.
So we got to find 2 more baseball states.
Yeah, one's but they throw in the state, the district, obviously.
Oh, DC's Nationals.
DC is the Nationals, okay.
Yeah.
What's the 8th one?
Let's see. Trying to see. Oh, the Red Sox.
They did get one.
Yeah, they got. I used to teach geography. Vermont or New Hampshire, one of the two. So it was the Red Sox in there.
Maryland,
So-
the Ravens.
Maryland is the Ravens. Virginia is the Redskins.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then West Virginia went West Virginia for football. Tennessee went Tennessee. Arkansas, and Utah Jazz. Obviously, Colorado went the Broncos. Montana went the Grizzlies. Wyoming went the Cowboys. Hawaii is Hawaii. It's kind of interesting though to look at all that, and I mean, in the Hawkeye State type of version of that, I guess. So, Bobby, what do you have to cover this weekend?
Bettendorf North girls basketball on Friday.
Let's see. Both of them were in your guys' Fab Five.
Yeah.
Yeah.
North, I was a little surprised last night. Played North Scott, lost by 20.
Okay.
Tell you what, Grace Buffeli is going to have a monster year.
Yep.
For North Scott. She's averaging 35 a game.
She was in your Quad City Times Sports, one of the athletes of the week today.
Yep. And then Bettendorf had a nice win over Assumption last night. So, kind of those two teams are picked to finish like second and third in the conference. So it'd be a pretty big gauge of where they are.
Okay. So you're covering local sports. I know some of the wrestlers are going to be at Keith Young this weekend, and that's a pretty loaded field. We'll be having some meets coming up here soon for that. But and then we got to keep our eye on Muddy Waters as well. But yeah, the Genesis Shootout's going to be a week from this Saturday. That should be, yeah, it's always a nice turnout. I mean, when my buddy used to coach at Geneseo, we would go there and just hang out and watch him coach, and then stick around and watch some games with them and everything. And I always had a good time there. They do a great job out there.
Both events, I think that and the IHM VCU girls shootout are both really well done.
Now, do you have to cover a lot of those games, or does Matt do that?
We split it up. I probably won't be doing much of the boys this week, this year, but I'll do a lot of the girls in January.
Okay.
So,
yeah, like I said, it was nice when. So, were you at the thing on Monday? The announcement?
No, I was not.
Okay. Yeah, Randazzo called afterwards and gave us the rundown of what was going on. So, that was again, it's one of those things in and around this area that's always a lot of fun, and I'm glad that they have the girls shoot out, and then they also kind of did the same thing with the Muddy Waters wrestling.
Are you going to go to it?
On the 14th, I will not be going to that. I will be two things. There's a wrestling tournament, youth wrestling tournament, that I'm going to, and then my daughter's birthday party will be then. So it's the one weekend we're doubling up on going to two wrestling tournaments, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. So we'll see how that goes.
Might take the little one over.
See how that goes for the son, if he likes
in
that.
the day.
Yeah.
So that Galesburg Bettendorf game should be midday, right, Bobby? Would you
Yeah.
say?
All right. Well, and finally, do you think the college football playoff rankings? Do you think if LSU beats Georgia, do you think Utah's going to get in, or the Oklahoma Baylor winner? If Utah beats Oregon, do you think an Oklahoma Baylor winner can jump Utah into the 4 spot?
If Oklahoma beats Baylor again, yes. If Baylor beats Oklahoma, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think it should be. God, what if Wisconsin were to beat Ohio State?
And then the Big Ten's. Well, Ohio State's still in.
I know, but I don't think you should be. But
I don't either, but Ohio State's still in, and yeah,
they need to get to 6.
I want to see 8.
Power 5 champs, and 2 at-larges.
But the argument there is it's never going to stop there.
3 largest. Let's just go 8.
No, go 6.
It's not going to stop there.
I think if you go 8, you have it covered.
You don't. There aren't 8 teams that are ever
That's
8
fine.
teams that
Then
need
you
to
got
be in
2
the
teams
playoffs.
that get eliminated quick.
You have 5. You have 5 Power 5 champions who have at least earned a shot there, and you have 1 at-large.
Right. So you're trying to tell me that, let's just say.
So that would say right here,
You
if
wouldn't
it go
wanna see
in
Bama
Wisconsin,
in it?
Baylor.
Still?
Wisconsin would be against Ohio State again. We're already doing that.
Wisconsin does not deserve to be in the playoff.
I'm just saying.
Not
If
losing
you're
Illinois.
looking at 8, that's where it would be right now if we had to seed out 8.
Bama would.
Bama doesn't belong in the playoff.
All right, a 1-loss Utah team would.
You can make the case well in the playoff. But I'm saying 6.
Let's
so
see
then
what
you're going to
you're
give the
saying.
first 2 a bye?
Yes.
Yeah. So in this situation, Oklahoma would play Clemson, Utah would play Georgia. That's if it started right now. And then the winner of Utah-Georgia would go on to play Ohio State, and the winner of Oklahoma-Clemson would go on to play LSU. It's not bad, but the thing is, I keep going back to over and over again in the history of the NCAA, no one tournament has ever stayed exactly how it is. They've always kept growing.
Yeah,
it's-
well,
it's
this one's going to grow to 6.
I know, and then to 8.
Hey, there are never 8 teams that belong in a playoff.
And that's well, there's other ways to tweak it, but the 6 pretty good. All right, thanks Bobby for coming in. Follow Bobby on Bobby Metcalf 88 on Twitter, along with QC Varsity, and thanks to Jeff on the roof for calling in, talking to us a little bit. We will see you guys tomorrow. We've got Nate Bird on the. Nate Bird's going to be in studio. We're going to talk about his toy drive for the Steed Family Hospital, and we're going to have Carson King on the phone as well tomorrow, along with Rosso from WQAD. And you know what? And I haven't seen I haven't talked to Klaus in a while. All right, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Enjoy yourselves.